Okay, so we're gonna stream tonight, Naya. I've kind of figured out from the last streams that I'm gonna want a core of the same about 27 cards. So the core I'm looking at not changing, like looking at the Grand Prix, are essentially these cards that I'm putting in the center. Yeah, like the rest of the deck is up for discussion, but for me, I'm probably gonna end up playing this in Manchester. So 4 mana confluence, 4 Temple of Plenty, 4 Fleece Lion, 4 Elspeth, 4 Sylvan Keratin, and 4 Coursers. Probably 4 Brimaz, maybe free. The key for me is I want a deck of this nature because it is both aggressive and controlling at the same time. Playing some of the best threats in the format. I don't know what the best color is pairing it with it, which is a big enigma for me. Is it blue with Cura and Prognostic Sphinx? Is it black for like Chapin's list? Or do I want to just go for red as I'm trying here? For essentially Xenagos the Reveler and Storm Breath Dragon. Kind of the other thing I haven't really discussed is the sideboards of these decks. Like some sideboards will be more powerful because you can notice here, like I have access to some cards that I don't if I wasn't playing red. Like, for example, this sideboard has 4 Lightning Strike, um, which gives me a much better option against aggro. You could argue Bile Blight does the same thing, but Bile Blight being double black is actually quite prohibitive. While I can actually play Lightning Strike straight away on turn 3. I can also, I mean, Destructive Arrow is kind of just an upgrade on, what shall I call it? Unravel the Ether and that kind of effect, but I mean, the 2 damage is actually relevant. There's some odd choices in the list I'm playing. I'm playing a bunch of one-offs, so I'm playing a one-off Destructive Reveille. This could easily be a 2-of. This could also easily be a, how shall I say, um, Voyaging Satyr. The main point is I needed a 9th 2-drop to be comfortable between Keratin and Fleecemane. And then there's Pelucranos, Dictator of Heliod, and a Johnny Mentor of Heroes. Which I want to see how it goes. I mean, Johnny doesn't interact too well with Stormbreath Dragon, but it is card advantage, which this deck doesn't really have elsewhere, apart from Courser. So that is actually quite important. Yeah. Um, I know the Japanese played the tech of Worst Fears, which I'm not playing here because the problem is against the control decks, you're boarding out your Caryatids. And because you're kind of boarding out those Caryatids, you don't really have the mana to play Worst Fears, which is 4 mana Confluence. It's a little too much. I mean, against control, you're boarding in the Revel, the Arbor Colossus, maybe the Dictate, but you're especially boarding in these Porphyroses and see how they go. Depending on the control list, I may board in Glare. Unlikely I board in Destructive Reveille since most of the control lists um, only have one target for that. I mean, apart from that, this deck has a little less removal than the black version with 4 Banishing Light. It makes up for it for 4 Lightning Strikes against aggro in the sideboard, but it's worth pointing out that this deck probably deals a little less well with mid-range threats, and this deck really has genuine trouble with Storm Breath Dragon. I mean, you do have your own Storm Breaths, you do have Elspeth, you do have Pelucranos, which is okay in the sense that it's threat, but this deck is a lot weaker to Storm Breath Dragon than the other decks I've tested so far, which may be a liability, but we're going to try that tonight. So, going into daily, it's got 2 Xenagos, but like the plan of going now, it's kind of awkward because it's gonna be hard for me to go like Xenagos on turn 3 with 2 temples, but we'll see. We'll see if I can draw an untapped land. So I'm gonna start with a Temple of Plenty. The reason for that is I have Fleecemane Lion in my deck, and that way I can go Fleecemane and then Caryatid land. But if I play the wrong one, like Temple of Abandon, then that's not something I can do. I thought about putting Lightning Strike main. The problem is, Lightning Strike is actually a sideboard card in this format. Like, it doesn't. The only thing that kills a control deck where you're not feeling horrible is Cura. Everything else is it's just useless. Like pretty close. Um, and you do have ramp. You do have early drops. You don't need Lightning Strikes as much. So we're gonna start with Temple of Plenty. Brimaz is on top, so we're gonna go Carotid turn 2, Brimaz turn 3, and Xenagos following on, which is a good curve. Maybe the deck needs Lightning Strikes, by the way, main, by the way. I mean, for me, Lightning Strike main is more meta call than anything. And it's worth pointing out, a lot of the aggro decks are weak to Destructive Revelry. Not all of them, of course, but yeah. I'd rather have a Destructive Revelry main which can kill a Courser. Which may actually genuinely happen, seeing as my opponent went Temple of Mystery. Like, dealing 2 damage, say, to a Planeswalker is quite important. So we're going to play Caryatid. And then next turn we have our Brimaz and Temple of Abandon, like Xenagos. And then Xenagos and Brimaz actually produce a ton of mana. So if I had Stormbreath Dragon or Elspeth, I'd be able to follow up. It was recommended to me to not play Strike. I mean, it's a meta call, right? Like, for me, if you're gonna be in a field where like there's no aggro decks, which might be a metagame call, then maybe you don't need Strikes. And remember, very few of these decks play Fleecemane and Brimaz, which I do. So you don't need Strike as much. Cura's Follower, okay, so he's playing that Band Control deck, since only that deck really plays Cura's Follower. A little bit worse news than if you went like a Temple, but this deck typically doesn't have much removal, so Brimaz and Xenagos should be actually quite good here. I have 2 options actually here. I can either go for Xenagos, or I could go for Brimaz, because of the mana confluence. I'm more a fan of going for Brimaz and playing the Temple, because I am drawing towards Elspeth. I'm a little more mana efficient. I am drawing towards Fleecemane as well. Against the Bant deck, Fleecemane is not as good. Fleecemane is really good against the... I'd see Fleecemane is a little better against the... what shall I call them? Not the Bant decks, the Black decks. If I play Fleecemane here, I kind of don't have... It's not much time. I just figured if it's worth playing Fleecemane. I'm going to go Xenagos, make a guy. So I have 4 guys in play. One is going to die to Cura's Follower, probably. So 4 guys in play. I can make 4 mana. They have 2 white, so I have 4 mana plus... Well, 3 mana plus 7. So I can actually Monstrous Hit right away. So I'll keep the Fleecemane on top, but it might be incorrect. Generally, keeping a Fred on... If you're hesitating, keeping a Fred on top is usually fun. But yeah, my opponent going Cura's Follower could be awkward. I have no way to deal with, say, Pelucranos. Okay, so he goes with Temple Enlightenment. He may have a Banishing Light, in which case I'll just make a Soldier. Sorry, Xenagos token. I could alternatively go Xenagos Fleecemane. I do have the mana for that, so if I go Xenagos... actually, I'm okay with just making a token here. I'd rather be a little more aggressive. I'd keep the Carotid to block, so he's not tempted to kill it. Well, he does have to deal with Xenagos. It is a problem. If he does have Prognostic Sphinx, it's a little awkward. Kind of the problem with Xenagos in this format. Okay, so he's Banishing Light number 2. Here, I will basically Let's see. I have a Brimaz in hand, actually. Maybe I should keep that Destructive Revelry. Let me think here. I'm gonna go Xenagos, or wait. If I go Xenagos, I have 5 mana. So, let's see. I could play Brimaz and keep the Destructive Revelry up. Do I have white, white, green? Yeah, I have mana to play Fleece Mane and Brimaz, which isn't too bad. And my opponent is going to run out of Banishing Lights at some point. Interestingly, if I draw an Elspeth, I can cast it by... Oh, Corsair Crewfix. The second Corsair tempts me a lot less to do something about that. Yeah, it's 2 mana. I have a few options here. I could attack with Brimaz, in which case, if he double blocks, I can kill the Kiora's follower. I could play the Xenagos, but the 2/2 is not going to do much, so I have a few options. I can kill the Corsair now, attacking for 2, but I think the option here is to attack with Brimaz and Fleece Mane Lion. And I have Destructive Revelry in case something wrong happens, so that's alright. Because, like, he is mana constrained, so that's not actually that bad. Yeah, so I eat his guy. He takes the damage. I play Temple of Triumph. Putting Temple of Plenty on the bottom, and I'm looking at a pretty good position here. What I did like about the Naya build is that your Brimazes and Fleemates aren't supported by removal, which can't be a bit awkward, but they're supported by haste creatures between the Xenagos and the Stormbreath Dragon. So my opponent concedes. The Bant deck plays Banishing Light, so the Destructive Revelry becomes good. Revel of the Fallen God is actually worthwhile. The Bant deck also doesn't deal very well with huge creatures apart from Elspeth. I don't like Perforos against the Bant deck. Maybe it is good, though. I know Glare is good. I mean, a lot of these cards are good, so I have to figure out what I cut. I mean, Carotid is usually the weakest card here. Fleecemane does usually get outclassed, but I don't want to cut like Carotid and Fleecemane. That's a lot of like cheap creatures to kill. I could play. I think Dictative Heliod is a good trump, and he's not gonna bring in enchantment removal. So where that leaves us is I have a lot of trumps. I can cut. I can shave a Brimaz. I mean, Xenagos looked okay in that match. I might not need free Destructive Revelries, since he only has 8 enchantments. Maybe 2 is enough. Especially with Glares. I mean, Arbor Colossus, I'm just assuming is going to be good. You bring it in against Buck Control, usually. Yeah, actually, Revel of the Fallen God's not good against the Elspeth player. You bring in this against the Buck Control deck. Like, they have a lot of 1-for-1 removal, but something that goes wide, especially if you're playing Dictates. Ajani is a little slow in my view. I don't think Ajani is where I want to be. Let's see. What else can I go? I have 50 seconds. Is Banishing Light actually good against the Bat deck? Probably. I need the removal, so... I need to remove a card. Which card? I don't want to remove Fleecemane. Maybe Polucros? Maybe... Actually... Let's remove Polucros and add 2 Gods of the Forge. I want to try the Gods of the Forge. I'm not sure about this sideboard at all. Hey. I'm not sure about this sideboard, like, at all. This is awkward, having the planes. I think I keep this just because I can go Fleece Main, and there's a lot of lands I can draw. Like a mountain or a forest, and I can pretty much cast all my spells. Like a temple would be ideal, obviously. Turn 1 temple would be the nuts. Green-red especially. I don't know, like, if Revel of the Fallen God, to be honest, I'm okay with 1 or 2 copies. I wouldn't want to play more. I think it's a very expensive card, so... Oh, called it! It's all about the small victories. Already have a lot of removals, so I kind of want lands or threats. And yeah, he can. Unfortunately, my opponent can just goes Prognostic Sphinx, against which I don't have much right now. So yeah. Like because I'm playing online, I'm kind of. It's worth remembering these lists aren't tuned, right? So um, I play a lot of one-offs like a Johnny Dictate, Pelucranos, and Destructive Reverie because I'm not sure necessarily which is best. So same with the sideboard. Okay, interesting. My opponent played a second Temple. I think that deck plays a lot of basic islands though, so. Now I'm like just looking for lands. Um, there was a slight hesitation for me there to play the Mana Confluence, take 1 in case I draw like Oh wow. He's mana screwed, okay. I don't normally like using Banishing Light on Fleece Main, but I'd rather use it as like say a Brimaz, but um let's try the pressure here. Maybe I'd say correct. Like, if he plays Brimaz, I just put myself in a very difficult position when I didn't need to. But I want to make sure he's low enough so Storm Breath punishes him and he can't recover. I mean, if he misses a land drop here, he's pretty much... I think it's not over, but... sorry about that. I had my allergies kick in, and the 8-man has started. So I'd like to play first in the 8-man. He plays Gallier Heresy on my Lion, which is fair enough. And I really need, like, Temple or Untapped Land. I played Temple here because even if I lose some value in case I draw an Untapped Land, I would rather ensure I get there. Dictative Heliod's good, but this isn't a Dictative Heliod situation. Would I like to mulligan this hand? It's a bit expensive, but I have 2 temples and I'm on the play, so I'm not going to mulligan. Okay, he plays a Temple of Mystery, which is awkward for me there. Since not only does it produce mana now, it makes sure that he gets mana next turn. Oh, wow. Okay, so he had tons of Glare of Heresy. Okay, interesting. I'm probably going to play Arva Colossus here. He may have Banishing Light, but here, play Temple of Abandon, lose the Temple, and hope for some more action. Fire Drinker stays here. Okay, so one matchup where keeping this hand is not the greatest. Put Banishing Light on top, so get to deal with something. Temple of Triumph. So I play the Arbor Colossus here just because I'd rather play. I'd rather play my Threats with Haste second. As a general rule. Oh, he's playing the red-green aggro deck. Okay, that's fine. I still like Banishing Light that thing. Like, I take over the game with these things, so. Like, if I go like Storm Breath, then he might just go Brimaz, and then I'm racing, while with this, I'm not really racing. Oh. Oh, he went Destructive Revelry? Okay. Nah. Not much I can do about that. If I have a Courser on top, that's pretty sweet too, but oh well. Sure. So take whatever that is. I did wonder actually because he didn't pump, so I had no other plays anyways. So let's see. So here I have two options. I can go for Xenagos when I know he has Lightning Strike, or I can play a Polukranos, which is probably correct since I have the mana, so I'm not so worried. And Polukranos munches on the Fire Drinker. Yeah, he plays a Temple of Plenty, which I suspect was the card he had on top. Well, has to be the card he has on top. Xenagos the Reveler. Okay. Let's see. I'm definitely killing Xenagos with Storm Breath. It's worth noting, in this situation, I'm not going to attack with Polukranos because I'm not at a high life total. And to be fair, he doesn't really have a way to remove the Polukranos. I just have to kill Xenagos to avoid him making mana, and yeah. Yeah, 2 mana for Confluence is going to start creating problems. And yeah, this deck has a lot of basics actually, so. Oh, he's got Dragon as well? Oh, that's awkward. I have a few options, none of which are like particularly insane. I can definitely playing this first. Bottom. I think I can play Xenagos the Reveler here, and just pass the turn, because it deals me 1 less damage, and I'm gonna have mana for the future, so. Yeah, he went Banishing Light on Arbor Colossus as I suspected. Which means I'll be going for Dragon, and then next turn God of the Forge, get back Arbor Colossus main combat, so. It's pretty good, actually. I could alternatively get back the guy now, but I'd rather. Actually, I can just play God of the Forge and get it back. That does seem like a better plan, so. That seems like a much better plan. Because if he doesn't have an untapped land for the line, it's pretty good. He goes for Cura, which is okay. This is not going to deal damage anymore, unfortunately. Let's see what he does. It's worth noting, like, if he activates Cura, I'm probably going to get the Arbor Colossus back right away. Because I can Destructive Revelry and kill the Cura with the trigger from God of the Forge and Arbor. So it's not worth eating the Lion. So it's beginning of his combat. Well, I'm definitely trading dragons. He has a. I don't think that deck has pump. So, like, the dragons will just trade. Okay. I don't love the Great Revel. That doesn't bother me so much now. Okay, it started to bother me. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Potentially. I'm okay with going to 4, but I can't go lower, so I can +1, make 5, and have 3 back, which makes little sense. So I might as well make a guy. And make a dragon, and I'm just gonna be super cautious here, because I don't have, I think, a single point of life to play with. I suspect I'm at 4. At 1, actually. Sorry. I'm just gonna be super cautious for now, because I can win in 1 turn. Oh, he's gonna draw a card. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. So this is what we call the blowout. Um, since yes, Cura. Yep. Eat the lion. Yeah, I've won the match. Like, literally, kill his Cura, kill his Fleecebane, and he didn't even see the dragon. It's too much already. That was a good turn for me. That was a very, very good turn for me. He goes for Polish Crusher. Um, let's see what I can do here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 mana, so potentially I'm probably going to eat the Eidolon and the Fire Drinker Satyr here. And then he can Monstrous this to 7/7, but I have an 8/8. So it's not so bad. Let's see. I think that's fine. I need to do that now, though. I'm definitely going to munch on his guys. Green, red, green, red. I need to be very careful. I can't... X is equal to free, so... Free is just good enough to kill his stuff. And potentially play Corsair Crewfix down the line. I still can't attack, but I'm okay with that. I have time. I could play Corsair. Let's see. Not this turn, by the way. 1, 2, 3. I think I'll play Temple of Plenty here anyways. The Banishing Light is awkward because it doesn't remove this. But I still think I want it just in case he has like a Prolukranos or something. Yeah, when he +1's the Cura, it's just like over, so. He can't attack with Polish Crusher, I know that much, so. Banishing Light doesn't deal with it. He still has only 1 card in hand. So I need to think about this. I can probably... Monstrous... How much mana do I have? I have 5, 9 mana plus Courser, so I can go like Courser Dragon in the same turn. Which is good. Ideally, I'm going to gain a point of life. Fleecebane's okay. It's not the end of the world. Let's see. If I make the... Here, I just make the dragon straight up. Yeah. So make a Storm Breath. Attack with 1 Storm Breath, and next turn it's lethal. Maybe I was too overcautious here. Maybe there was a way to win. Is there not a Is there a not outside your place? What do you mean by that question? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana. So, can't quite kill him this turn, right? 11? It's not enough to double monstrous, so... Definitely do it once. Oh yeah, yeah, I guess there were some ambulances there. Let me see actually if I can win this turn. I should have played the Temple of Triumph, by the way. That was incorrect not to. Let's see. The 8/8 attacks, gets eaten by the Satyr. The Corsair gets eaten by the Polish Crusher, and another Satyr gets eaten by the Eidolon. So he can't, by the way, he has no tricks, because if he has a trick, he dies to both dragons. So both dragons go in for 11, and then he has 3 blockers to my other stuff. So I'm okay here. I can take the full risk, because I attack for 7, 11, plus 2 goes through for sure. And if he has a lightning strike, the Idol of the Great Revel will kill him. So, yeah, that's good. Sorry, I had to work it out just to make sure. I'm only attacking here because I'm 100% sure I'm winning. Otherwise, I'd just be, cautious. Yeah, so he blocks that, and then takes 13. 7, 4, 2. Yeah. There's nothing else he can do. Obvious blocks. Damage. Yeah, lethal. Okay, so I'm playing against the red-green deck. The red-green deck plays mostly on, like, Idol of the Great Revel, that kind of stuff. Against red-green, I want to have lightning strikes and big creatures. The Destructive Revelry is pretty poor. Johnny's pretty bad. Dictative Heliod's pretty underwhelming. Brimaz is actually okay. He does have Polish Crusher. Banishing Light is fine. I'm actually wondering what to board out. I think Xenagos is not for this matchup. Even if the 2/2s can be relevant. I think I have enough of the Lightning Strikes and all the fat, so... creatures, so I'm good. We'll try this. So, by the way, we're 1 up in the daily event. The second Elspeth's kind of awkward, but I'm not going to mulligan Carroted Fleecemane. Depending on what... I'll see what I draw to make my decision on which one I play. That's an interesting one. Let's start with Forest, just to be sure. Because I can play Fleecemane and Lightning Strike in the same turn, I'm going to go with Carroted. Yeah. Let's see here, actually. Because I have the choice of playing Arbor Colossus or, like, next turn. Instead of Lightning Striking this, I could play the Lion. Yeah, that seems actually okay. I don't need to Lightning Strike it. I could just play the Lion. Elspeth, I've got enough Elspeths. I don't need more. So even if he kills a Lion with like Lightning Strike, I still have the Carroted to block. He goes for Polish Crusher, which is an okay choice. Thankfully, I've got my Arbor Colossus coming up. And that's more than an okay choice. That's the premium choice. It's worth knowing I can monstrous my Fleece main soon. I prefer playing the Arbor Colossus though here. Because there's not much you can do about Arbor Colossus. And you also can't play Storm Breath usually. Xenagos the Reveler, that's kind of annoying. Because that's a lot of mana, potentially. Like, that could monstrous a dragon very easily. I could Lightning Strike it, thankfully, so it's not too bad. I will, actually. I need to Lightning Strike, I think, the Xenagos right now, so he doesn't gain any more of an advantage. Yep, take the damage. Then I can play the Lion again. Yeah, taking the damage. It's not the end of the world to take the damage here. But it shows how good this card is. Like, I've taken something like 6 off it. So my opponent went from being in a really bad position to having a chance. Yeah, my opponent might have a dragon in hand and just can't cast it against Arbor Colossus. Aw, second one is awkward. I have enough mana, so I'll put that on the bottom. And I have to still take damage just to get rid of that Xenagos. He's amassing quite the army here, which I don't like. So here he might monstrous the Polish Crusher. We'll see what happens. Monstrosing the Polish Crusher. Like, if he has a dragon, I think his correct play is to tag a Polish Crusher and monstrous it through Arbor Colossus. But that's just me. Oh, Harnessed by Force. Wow. Yeah, that's a great sideboard card against me. Let's see here, because I don't have the mana for Elspeth if I block incorrectly. So, let's see. How much do I take here? Potentially, I'm taking... Let's see. I can't... let's see how I can block. Can I block something like that and then block the 6/6? So I take 4, 8, 10, 13. I'm at 11. Wait. 4, 8, 11. Oh, that's awkward. I don't really want to chump with this because I'm in trouble if I do, but... so I have to double chump? That's really awkward. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I go to 1, which basically makes mana confluence bad. I don't think there's really a choice, so... Yeah. Harnessed by Force, great card. In this situation. Thankfully, I do have my core serve... Oh, that kills me. I can't win. Okay, fair enough. Well played by him. I saw Harnessed by Force in that deck. It's a good idea. Yeah, the double Xenagos was awkward, like, because I'm taking 2 damage, he's getting a guy, it's not good. It's a lot of advantage. Yes, I'd like to play first. No, I would not like to mulligan. I would rather play Brimaz on turn 3 if I can, so we're going to see if I can get an untapped land. Definitely not interested in Banishing Light at this moment. Even if it's like my only removal spell. Okay, Carotid's good here. Since I can go Carotid, next turn Brimaz. Golden Hind, okay. I like the fact that I play Golden Hind. It's an awesome card. Maybe I should have scryed first, but like to just say I may have another play, but I don't think Brimaz the second is as useful. If I draw it up to land, that's like the nuts. I will happily draw like a 4-drop though. Or, to be honest, anything that's not like passing the turn. Okay, so Xenagos the Reveler, which I'll be attacking. Fleecemane is completely fine. I'm completely okay with Fleecemane here. So we're going to attack Xenagos. And the token is as well. Just to make sure he goes down by 1 at least. Yep, that makes sense. We're going to play a Temple of Abandon. Wild Courser Crewfix is usually okay. I have enough 5s, I don't really need it. I just want the land for Elspeth straight up. He is accelerating quite fast here. Hopefully, it's not too bad if I can drop an Arbor Colossus. So he puts a Satyr into play, which means he can kill the Brimaz with a double block. Oh, he Lightning Strikes the Fleecemane right away. Makes sense to me. He plays Eidolon of the Great Revel. So I can double block at no cost. But thankfully, I've got Stormbreath Dragon to deal with the Xenagos and not cause any more issues, which is good. Xenagos is dead. Fated Conflagration. Excellent choice. I really like this card in that deck. Just because it allows it to deal with a lot of problems it otherwise have trouble with. My next turn, my ideal play would be to play Elspeth. But I'd happily play Arbor Colossus if I have to. Bottom, top. I have to be careful of Harness by Force, but with the Cat Soldier, I'm actually okay. And with Elspeth, Harness by Force is just a dead card, usually. Let's play Temple of Abandon first to see what happens. Do I want a second Elspeth? Probably in case the first one, something happens to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So here, I'm going to play an Arbor Colossus. That's because there's very little my opponent can do about it. Yeah, he plays Temple of Abandon. Like, he can't even play Stormbreath here. It, like, just paralyzes him completely. And next turn I can go Elspeth, making guys, and attacking with Colossus. Or attacking with Colossus first, and then making guys, sorry. Raver. Xenagos. I don't like that. I might have to just play Stormbreath here. But first what we're going to do, I might have to just play... The problem is if I just play Stormbreath and he trades the Colossus for free guys, it's awkward. I might be okay just playing an Elspeth here, actually. And munching on a random guy. I want to play Elspeth here. It seems better. Yep. I think having Elspeth in play is going to create a situation that's going to be very tense for my opponent. So he has mana 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, he plays the Eidolon of the Great Revel. I guess it's his last one card left, so just need to think here what I do. I'm pretty sure I'm killing Xenagos, so to do that, I think I just play the Stormbreath Dragon here. And then attack him with the Arbor Colossus. Yeah, that seems like a play. I mean, you could trade like free guys for Arbor Colossus, but now I don't care. Because I have enough pressure otherwise. Yeah. He might have faded Conflagration, to be fair. Um, I don't think he'd have faded Conflagration because he would just kill the. Do I want to attack with Arbor Colossus? Probably not, actually. I'll just attack with Xenagos here. Yeah, that seems fine. Just kill Xenagos. Make some soldiers. Dominate the board completely. That seems like a plan. Is there anything that's punishing me here, by the way, that I'm missing out on? I don't think so, but like the plan here is probably to ultimate Elspeth for the win. Harnessed by force. Okay. So what is he getting? Because okay, he gets a Brimaz. Okay, he needs to harness by force to put down Elspeth. Okay, that's fair. At this point, I don't mind if Elspeth goes to 1 or something like that. Although, my soldiers are expandable, so I'll eat the one that belongs to hit. Surviving my... I want my Storm Breath to survive. I'm okay with Elspeth losing her counters. It's not a problem. Yeah, that's fine. Elspeth goes to 2. I get my Storm Breath back. Um, I attack with Arbor Colossus, Storm Breath Dragon for sure. Since that's going to have to be blocked. Um, hmm. Okay, with just those two. And then making guys and passing the turn is fine by me. Since I can just monstrous this if he has a dragon or something. Or even if he doesn't. That's fine. That doesn't do anything. He's going to kill the dragon, which I'm okay with, so... We'll just let him kill the dragon, and... I think he's dead, right? He's at 6. So he has to block the Brimaz, he has to block the Arbor Colossus. So he's left with 2 blockers for, like, tons of tokens. Yeah, he's dead. My opponent's lost this game, so... I'm really liking this Naya deck. Yeah, I've won the match. He did the math. Cool. Okay. I'm liking this so far. This has been good. Yeah, he's dead on board, you know? Like, can't do anything. So, 1-0 in the 8-man too. This deck is aggressive. Between the Stormbreath Dragons, the Xenagos, the Fleecemane Lions, and the Brimaz, it's really aggressive. So, there might be a hidden gem here. It's good. So for those just joining in, I played it. I'm playing in the like daily and the 8-man, this Naya deck, which is basically using the shell, which I think I'm going to use at the Grand Prix almost 100%, which is 4 Elspeth, 4 Brimaz, 4 Fleecemane, 4 Temple of Plenty, 4 Mana Confluence, 4 Sylvan Caryatid, and 4 Corsair Crucifix. The rest of the deck is kind of what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know whether to play black, so basically Chapin's deck with a few changes maybe. To play red for Xenagos the Reveler and Stormbreath Dragon. Or do I play blue for Cure and Prognostic Sphinx? Uh, you'll notice, like, apart from black, where it sits at the removal 3 and 4 slots, the blue and the red ones are actually quite similar because you have both Kiora and Prognostic Sphinx. And you're replacing that in green-red with Xenagos the Reveler and Stormwrath Dragon. So it's kind of a wonder, which one is better. I'd say the blue one is maybe slightly better in the control meta, but I like the ability of the red deck to slide into 4 lightning strikes, basically against the aggro deck. So if you're facing an aggro deck, you have 4 lightning strikes to kind of deal with that problem. Uh, Obviously, some of their creatures may get larger, which you still have Banishing Lights for, but at least like early game, you have 4 lightning strikes to just go like, okay, here I have ROS, you die. Pretty convinced it's right to play 4 of these. The life loss is really not too relevant. Yeah. Actually, give me a second. I'm just gonna get some water while I chat. But yeah, I really like the mid-range aspect of this deck. It's basically the world's best draft deck, like Fleece Mains, Brimaz, and Elspeth. How have I found a Johnny this week? I gotta be honest, I've only played him once. Although the turn I played him was pretty sick, because I went a Johnny, draw, get Cura, draw, as a result of getting Cura, I had a land on top, play Cura, it had a spell, draw a card, it had a land, so I played it with Courser. So I went I went like a Johnny, draw a card, get a card for off the Courser, so we're +2, Cura +3, and then land +4. So I literally went like a Johnny, draw 4. Which might have been a little bit extreme. Um, I haven't had really time to try Johnny. I gotta be honest. Um, I have tried Dictate of Heliod, and Dictate of Heliod has been fantastic for me. Like downright awesome. Um, Especially when your opponents don't expect it. It's even better then. Um, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna play at least one, so you can probably add them to like the core cards. I'm not sure about playing more. Like at least one, maybe two. Yeah. Obviously, with this, I'm playing like 12 temples. Just depends on the other colors I'm playing. Let's see how we're doing on events. Okay. Still at least 4 or 5 minutes to go. Um, yeah. The sideboard, willing to be proven wrong. Relevant of the Fallen God is actually okay against the control decks. Yeah. I wanted to try like Dictate and Xenagos plus Brimaz. That seems actually quite good. Plus Elspeth. Um, like you can play Token Naya. Actually, I didn't think of that. You can play like Naya with Xenagos and Brimaz and Elspeth, which are all good cards, and then like play some Gods of the Forge and some Dictates of Heliod. Again, sorry there, hay fever kicking in. Um, yeah, so there is a token version potential with this. At which point you're cutting marginal cards like Ajani, Palukranos, for more like effects that pump your tokens. Like, I could see a main deck Porphyros maybe, but I'm pretty sure main deck Palukranos is better. But you could see a second main deck Dictate for sure. Like, I could easily see going cut the Ajani and then add a second Dictate. And then in your sideboard, you free a slot for something. It might be the next Revel of the Fallen God. Ironically, it does make Drown in Sorrow actually quite good against this deck, but problem is you have Drown in Sorrow and your opponent goes like Fleece Main Brimaz, which are usually trading up on the mana curve, which is why they're so good. Let's see here. Yeah, we're about to start our second round in both the daily and the. So, Dictate of Erebos. Um, I'm not sure what to think of the card. Um, Essentially, Dictate of Erebos is like one of those cards which seems good in principle, right? Like, uh, it does an effect that's quite unique and like goes around hexproof. The problem is you need a deck for it. So I think the only real deck in the format that can play Dictate of Erebos is Chapin's deck. And even then, I wouldn't play more than one because Silence the Believers doesn't trigger it. Most of the times, they can just bounce off your guys rather than trade. Um, and yeah, like the best case scenario is you go like Elspeth have 3 tokens, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, well those tokens are a problem. Um, yeah, so I think Dictative Erebos is an interesting choice for Chapin's deck. I don't think for much else. I don't think there's anything else which produces the mass of creatures you need to make that card good. Because the first card you get is like maybe a Caryatid. The second card is a Corsair. And then like after that, they start being unable to trade with your threats. And like you are able to like go Hero's Downfall my guy to kill your Sphinx. Like that's not a problem. That's not a bad play. Um, it's also like, do you want the space? Like Dictate of Erebos does get eaten by Unravel, which they should sideboard out against Chapin's deck because I would look at the sideboarding plan of Bug, maybe like 1 or 2 Unravel stay, but against Chapin's deck, the only target main deck is Courser and like the 1 Banishing Light. So, and post board there's not that much, so they should be not keeping many Unravels, maybe 1 max. Yeah, I think this deck definitely wants at least 1 main deck Destructive Revelry. I could see cutting a Johnny for a second one for the meta if you wanted to. Well, yeah, right now I'm playing this, by the way. Johnny is one of those cards I really, really want to see be good because it's the only card in this deck that can give card advantage. The only card. Like, everything else is just very good, but 1 for 1. And, I mean, you do have like 12 Scrylands, so you're unlikely to flood too much. And of course, it does get you that card advantage, but yeah. Yeah, if you mulligan it with this deck yeah, it's kind of awkward because you don't have any genuine cards. You have a lot of selection, but your cards are 1 for 1. Just to double check, this is the daily event. Okay, so because we're second, this is kind of an awkward hand, but hopefully I'll get an untapped land to go turn 2 Caryatid, so I can go turn 3 Brimaz, or turn 3 Courser. Turn 3 Courser is probably better against most matchups. Temple of Silence, okay. A few possibilities there. Could be Junk Oscillation, probably Junk. Mountain's very good. Definitely want Temple of Plenty here to have the white mana. Untapped Plains is interesting. I don't need it though. I definitely kept it if I didn't get the Mountain. So he plays Temple of Silence. Let's see what he does after that. The other thing is, I might have kept it if I had only one Keratin because of Thoughtseize, but pretty safe there. Okay, definitely good to not keep it. So here, Forest, Sylvan Keratin. Brimaz, huh? Okay, so he's playing Chapin's deck. Playing Brimaz here is interesting because I can block. I could also play Banishing Light. Although that probably wants to get Blue Kernels. I'll play Brimaz here, although that might be incorrect. I'm willing to admit the Brimaz there might be incorrect. I don't want the Mana Confluence. Like, it makes the Courser a lot better there, obviously. Playing the Courser might have been the correct play there. Because, yeah. Kills it. Get Banishing Light. I could Banishing Light the Banishing Light. That seems bad, though. Yes. 5 lands is awkward when there's little scrying. I'll keep, but I'm not a fan. Elspeth, interesting. So I probably want to go Courser and Keratin here. Storm Breath on top, so at least disguises the fact that I need the mana for Elspeth. Temple of Plenty. Oh, that's awkward. I probably want Banishing Light. Again, in the dark, but like getting rid of a spell seems weak. He might have Brimaz. He might have Bioblight here. Probably not, but if he has it, he has it, right? He's left mana up for what? Hero's Downfall or Silence the Believers? Or I hope it's Silence the Believers to some degree. He's played Temple of Silence here as well. So what did my opponent do? And it turns Silence to Believers, or draw the Banishing Light, play Mounted and pass. Okay, so he did go Silence for the Courser. Okay, fair enough. I'll definitely be trading here. Since he might, have Hero's Downfall, but it's correct to trade. Like, he has to Hero's Downfall, which means the Dragon's going to do something. Yeah. Oh, he doesn't have Hero's Downfall. Wow. That's interesting. Let's see. Do that. Play Brimaz. I'm not worried about anything here, so I'm just going to play Brimaz. Oh, and Fleecemane. I mistapped my mana there, by the way. I didn't mean to tap the Keratin. Hopefully it doesn't matter, but yeah. Plays Brain Maggot. Okay, so this guy is on some kind, Evermono Black or Junk Constellation. No worries. Sleep well, sir. I don't really want to Banishing Light a Brain Maggot. That seems poor. Even if I don't get value from Courser, it's worth playing. Oh, Xenagos, awesome. Yeah, the Brain Maggot is irrelevant. I still have a Banishing Light, so. Okay. He plays Temple of Silence. Hey there. We're testing the Naya deck, and I gotta be honest, I like this deck a lot. Read the Bones. Like I'm playing against Chapin's deck, which is good for testing. He went Fotsies. That's kind of awkward because it takes care of the dragon at no cost to him. Um, which is annoying. Yeah, he has to take care of the dragon there. Let's see what I could do here. Here, I have Destructive Revelry. That can kill the Banishee Light down the line. I could attack with Brimaz, but he's just going to get killed by Brimaz itself. So what I'll do here is I'll attack with Fleecemane, because that attack is pretty much free. And then +1 Elspeth. And then he has to have an answer to the Elspeth. Wow, he went Deicide. Right away. Main deck Deicide. Doesn't want to wait. Well, let's make a 2/2 here. Oh, yeah, I didn't attack. That feels correct. He didn't block, so I'm just gonna ultimate it. Definitely want to deal that extra damage with all the soldiers I've got. I do hope, by the way, he doesn't have Bio Blight. That'd be awkward. Chapin's deck plays at most one copy main, I believe. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so we're gonna go. We're gonna go block here, block here, block here, and block here, which leaves me at least with 3 soldiers. Yeah, he can't deal with Elspeth, so the game's over. He's playing Patrick Chapin's deck. Rebel of the Fallen God, he's probably going to see coming a mile away. He's putting in Bio Blight. Pelucranos is usually bad against that deck because he has so much. Perforos is actually okay. It's dealing like damage over time, so then these two. Keratin is probably not so good in our matchup because we have Fleecemanes. And Destructive Early I can keep 1, but it's usually quite a weak card. I can lose the Destructive Revelry, but... I think I want some number of Keratids, not many though. Just to accelerate me. Oh wait, I want the second God of the Forge. It's Pelucranos that's coming out. Do I want a Johnny here? I think a Johnny's good, so we're gonna go with this. Okay, so he goes Brain Maggot, which is awkward because it takes the dragon. Although I can probably get the dragon back, so it's not the end of the world. Ooh, Elspeth, that's an interesting one. I'm actually gonna just make Elspeth here and make some mana. Yeah, when you have Elspeth, just make friggin' Elspeth. That's the moral of the story. I probably should have attacked first, but he's not blocking anyway, so. If he goes Bile Blight, eh. Yeah, Hero's Downfall. Makes sense. Now I have tons of mana, so I can go get the dragon back. Here, that's 6, 7, 8. That's good. I could attack for not. Actually, I should attack with this. There's no reason. Don't really care if Xenagos loses 1 damage here. Courser just makes sure I don't like flood out, so I'm okay with keeping that on top for now, even if it's not an ideal threat. I would like to keep, although the mana's a little awkward potentially. Plays Brimaz. You might have a hero's downfall here. Let's see. Let's play Courser. Yeah, the Courser like literally just drew me 2 cards there. Well, 1 card since the Temple I would have drawn. Oh well. I'm gonna +1 because then I can ultimate threaten the ultimate, which is good enough most of the time. If he does have like the hero's downfall. This game. Like if he kills a dragon, I'm not so fussed. Yeah. Let's see. I could go for the kill, but I have no incentive to really do so. Like if he has a removal, it just blows me out. So there's no incentive to do so. Of course, our crew fix pretty good. Getting a combat. I got an ultimate Xenagos. So now I'm getting at least a Courser. So I continue. Put in Courser, Brimaz, Polukranos, Fleece Main Line, and Mana Confluence. Gaining some amount of life in the process. And pretty much killing my opponent here with untold quantities of damage. I do have like Polukranos as well to make sure that everything goes smoothly here, so against 2 cards for sure, it's going to be enough. Eat the Brain Maggot. I mean, my opponent's dead. I'm just going to have 6. Yeah, he goes for Fleece Mane, but because he doesn't have the second block, he can't really kill Fleece Mane, which is good because it means we can trade Fleece Manes. Which I think is correct for me. I could also like attack him back. Actually, attacking him back might be better, just because I have Courser, so I don't really care. Yeah, I won the game in the other one. Sideboarding. So I was against... It's a kind of weird, like, junk deck. He has Brain Maggot and Brimaz and Hero's Downfall. That's about all. Definitely want to heal Heresies. Don't think this is necessarily a Dictate matchup. Destructive Revelry is probably fine. If he plays Brain Maggot, then Destructive Revelry is probably very good. Let's see. A Johnny is probably not where I want to be. Polukranos is pretty good just because it can threaten to kill something quite cheap. Carroted it's probably not necessary. I can probably board out 1 Brimaz. Actually, Xenagos is really bad against that type of deck. So let's board out all the Xenagos and add back Caryatids and Brimaz. Or, No, I could do with one more Brimaz and one less Carroted. I could block or I could be aggressive. It's like, does he have another Fleece Mane here? Because with Dragon, I probably have the advantage. He could easily trump, so I'll block here. I'll trade. I'm not sure about that trade, though. I'll be honest. Do I have anything with double red that I might need? So, do I need to lose 2 life for a Courser here? Not that I know. Let's check. No, there's no double red except Dragon, which I can't play next turn anyway, so... no mulligans here. So I am just going to play Forest Courser. Maybe the mana conflicts would have been correct there. He goes turn 1 Fotsies. Fair enough. Yeah, it's probably Junk Constellation, yeah. But he played Brisma. He's playing Brimaz, which most Junk Constellations decks don't play. Do I want the second Prelucranos? Probably. It's very rare that I'm not going to need it. Plays Courser Crewfix. Obviously, he gets the advantage right away, which is awkward for me. But it made sense to trade our Fleece Mains as a result, I guess. So annoying. To like... That's a bit frustrating. Like when your opponent gets the Courser and you don't. Especially because the Scarland's not going to do much for me here. I still have to like play it because I definitely want to play Elspeth on time. Next turn I'm going to have like a Temple when I really need to cast Dragon, for example. I may skip on Dragon if he literally passes the turn. Not that that's the case. Xenagos the Reveler, okay. Maybe Xenagos the Reveler should be boarded out against Chunk. They have lots of ways to deal with it, so... And the 2/2s aren't necessarily quite too relevant. Attack with a Dragon, put the pressure on. I don't know why you went Fozzie's turn 1. It's generally not a correct play to do that. You can always wait a turn on Fozzie's. Elspeth stays on top, but I'm going to need mana from now on. Still testing. I have decided on a green-white shell. Okay, so he goes Fozzie's again. I mean, he can take Pelucranos. For all I care. You can take Dragon, I guess. Banishing Light as well. He takes the Pelucranos, wow. Oh, and then Brain Maggot, okay. So I was right about Pelucranos. Let's see what I could do here. Do I want to use the Banishing Light on a Brain Maggot? It kind of guarantees me the Pelucranos to some degree, so I'm okay with that. Okay, here, +1 life from probably a land on top. I didn't check. He has Fotsies. Ooh, he has Elspeth. He minuses Elspeth, which is an interesting one. I would lose a Courser Crewfix to kill his Elspeth this turn. Oh, my library has a Dragon? So do I really fundamentally care about killing Elspeth this turn? Probably not. Because I have my own. And mine has more loyalty. He can take the Xenagos, but... The important thing is the Dragon's on top and he can't take that, so... plenty. Yeah, I could have traded a Corsair Crew Fix for free Elspeth tokens and the Elspeth in play, but yeah. Yeah, so he does nothing. Probably has Hero's Downfall. So I'm actually happy to go Keratin here because I think yeah he passed a turn with Hero's Downfall because he knows I have Polukranos, and that way I can go Storm Breath Dragon or Polukranos anyways. Well, I do want to put pressure on my opponent. It has to be like pressure. Oh, Brain Maggot's awkward because Brain Maggot. Oh, he doesn't have Downfall mana, so that's good. If he doesn't take the Polukranos though, Polukranos is gonna come down and he has to kill it right away. So takes the Elspeth, which is interesting and a lucky choice. I want to save 7 mana for Polukranos, so with Polukranos that way, I'm waiting until I can get 7 mana and just monstrous it for 1. He has down to 2 cards as well. So he plays plane. He has another Brimaz. In this, against the Junk matchup, I'm not sure who's winning, if anyone. Let's see. He could have Silenced the Believers, which makes the most sense to me. Ooh, Dictate! That is a fantastic card right now. Just because it just means the Elspeth War is like pretty much won on its own. So I'm going to put Dictate on top for sure. And here I have the choice. I can go... If I go Xenagos, I can make tons of mana. I think I go... +1 soldiers... Storm Breath Dragon... Oh, wait, no, not Dragon, sorry. I go Xenagos... And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. So that's not enough to play it in Monstrous It. I could just make a Satyr here. Rather than play the dragon into Silence the Believers. Like, he has to deal with Dictate next turn as well, which is good for me. Don't have to attack, actually. I'm pretty okay. He goes Thoughtseize. Oh, he takes the Polukranos with the third Thoughtseize. That's awkward. I think it was correct to wait on the Polukranos. Like, well, we'll see what we draw here. He is at 10 life, which isn't tons. Mana Confluence is pretty fantastic here since I can just Monstrous a Dragon and, you know, put him down to 2 life. And then at that point, even if a Lightning Strike doesn't finish him off, like, he's not at much. Oh, he has 2 cards. So he's actually at 1. So that means that any future Mana Confluences are dead, if he has any. Yeah. Yeah, he goes Silence the Believers, which was a good read from me. Removing the 2 coursers. Temple of Plenty on top. His Elspeth is at 2 loyalty. I know I have Dictate of Heliod on top, by the way, which is pretty close to lethal. A Johnny Mentor of Heroes, that's not going to stop Stormbreath Dragon. He just tapped out, so I have no risk. So I'm going to just finish this game because, yeah, you can look at the top 4. There's no Birds of Paradise that I know. And you have Mana Confluence. Yeah, I've won that match. And here, Hero's Downfall on top. Okay, that's an interesting one. Like, I'm gonna attack him in the army, and I really hope he doesn't have Unravel the Ether. Really, really hope. Or some other removal. It does have, like, the mana for it, and I have no way of telling. I guess if he's attacking with everything, he's either playing correctly on the fact that Okay, what do I want to do here? Because he is playing correctly on Dictate. Let's see what I could do here. I don't need to ultimate Elspeth. I just need Elspeth to like kind of survive. So I can go kill the cat token, chump the Brimaz. Then Elspeth goes to 1, which is actually quite fine in this scenario because it's going to be a lot of damage coming this way and I have another Elspeth. So Elspeth would go to 1. I'm okay with that. Sounds weird, but I'm okay with it because it gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It gives me 15, 16 mana. Uh, 16 mana? No, wait, 17 mana? So I have the mana to do everything. Like, literally go Storm Breath, token, like, literally everything. Because I'm going to go to 8 tokens, play the dragon, which brings me to, yeah, 8 tokens, dragon, 9 creatures, plus 2, so I can go Monstrous to Dragon. Does that work? Am I at the right amount of tokens? I definitely have to make Elspeth survive, so... Ah, oh, he takes the dragon. Did not count on that. Gotta be honest. But he knows the bad news now. There's another Elspeth in hand, so... yeah, he's gonna take the dragon, though. Like, I suspect. Oh, that is good. That was good. That was good. The second Elspeth is problematic. Yeah, he takes the dragon, which makes sense to me. Makes some tokens with Elspeth. And now puts me in a little more of a bind. I could attack Elspeth, but I think attacking my opponent with everything is probably correct. Hopefully he doesn't have an answer to Dictate of Heliod. That would be awkward. I don't think so. So, by the way, in the 8-man, we're 2-0 in the 8-man, which is awesome. My opponent's thinking about this a lot, so I'm hoping he doesn't have an answer. To Dictate. I mean, I'm slamming that Dictate. He knows about it, but I'm slamming him. I'll have 5, 6, 7 power creature, 7 creatures against 4. So he goes down to. So if he doesn't block, he goes down to 9. Brimas survives. I lose a soldier. Then I have 3 soldiers that are all free freeze. Probably Elspeth dies if he wants to. Yeah, he can then kill Elspeth quite easily, but I can then kill Brimaz and Cursor, so... It's not too bad, and he's not had much life as a result, so... he does have Hero's Downfall anyway, so... You could go Banishing Light on Elspeth, which... Oh, he might have Banishing Light. That'd be an interesting one. I could have done the Storm Breath without the second Elspeth. Because I have lands. If he didn't have the Thoughtseize for Storm Breath, I would have played the Storm Breath going up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 creatures. 10 creatures in total with the tokens. So I make 10 mana. Plus 2. So I have Storm Breath in play and I have 12 mana. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. So he plays Elspeth because he has to. Interesting. Very interesting. That's an interesting. Yeah, that was interesting. Let's see what we do here. I'm probably attacking the Satyr into him. Let's see here. He does have Hero's Downfall, so... yeah. I thought he had a... I was pretty sure he had a second Elspeth. Um, is it actually at the point I don't care about Elspeth, or... Yeah, because I don't want to give him the option in case he has another Elspeth. He knows Dictative Heliod is coming anyway, so... Yeah, Brimaz blocks a token. So I'm going to eat the cat, probably. Then he has to chump at least one of these. Doesn't have... Yeah, if I attack Elspeth, then with everything... Like, he has two options. He can either decline to block anything. Yeah. Okay, so he goes to 9 life because he probably needs those tokens. Yeah, let's just play the Dictate out there. But the Dictate's looking pretty sweet here. Put the Cat Soldier first, please. I could play Mana Confluence here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But it doesn't really make a difference. He keeps getting the Corsa lands. He has Hero's Downfall now, though. So he can kill Elspeth the second as well. Yeah, he puts free tokens into play. But he's not in a good trading position here, I think. Unless he has like a removal for the enchantment, which would be terrible for me. I have to go on the limb and say that Dictate is just going to survive. And that's it. Like, that's my plan. Wow, just the Brimaz. Okay. Just the Brimaz on Elspeth. That's intriguing. Or on Xenagos, rather. Why would he do that? I guess he gets to eat a soldier with removal. Actually, this way he has to use up his removal, so I'm okay with that. Oh wow, I just eat Brimaz. So he probably has another Brimaz. He must have another Brimaz. There's no way he just did that attack like that. Yeah, Hero's Downfall the Elspeth makes sense to me. Brimaz, yeah. Okay, so he can't handle hit Dictate, is my suspicion. Let's see here. Let's make a Satyr token and bash my opponent. Since every... Oh, whoa, no. They're not attacking Elspeth. They're attacking my opponent for the win. Since this is like basically a Vindicate per creature. Like, that's a lot of abysses. Yeah, and he's gotta block everything. Gotta give my opponent credit. He is going for it. He is trying. And to be fair, Elspeth is not far off ultimating. Yeah, so he blocks, he chumps everything. He might have enough soldiers to trade on one, but that doesn't seem profitable. He might as well like keep them as chumps. But yeah, Dictative Heliod's been fantastic, and this is a perfect example as to why. Okay, I will put the cat soldier first. Um, yeah, like otherwise I'm in trouble, but because of Dictate, I'm actually fine here. Primaz is on bottom. Like, for me to lose this game, I have to, like, he has to deal with what's there, and if that happens, I need to draw a dragon anyways. So, his Elspeth could mine this and kill all the Sadiers, by the way. The, yep. Oh, wow, Glare of Heresy's on top, so that is an answer to Dictate, but I don't think he has enough blockers. Unless he goes for the full triple silence the believers. Uh, Plains is awkward there, but I took my risk. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. So you can go triple silence the believers with 7 blockers. He's at 4. I have 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 attackers. So he has 7 blockers. He can get rid of 3 creatures, so I win. Right, good. Whatever he had. Unless he had like something for Dictate. And even if he had something for Dictate, he needs something for Dictate and then like the stuff. Yeah. Wow. Um, that was very, very good. Dictate of Heliod. I'm not gonna lie. Um, and like for me, that seems like the super trump in these green-white matchups is that Dictate. I like it a lot. Like you guys have seen. The problem is they boarded in Glare of Heresy, so it's not perfect. And obviously some of the decks have Banishing Light, but yeah, like just making your like Brimass tokens like free freeze, or Xenagos tokens like 4/4s, and your Elspeth your Elspeth making it like free freeze is insane. Like Elspeth's good enough already. If you start having like Dictate on top, like even if they kill it right away, you're still like so far ahead. I could see playing free Dictates and in the Naya version, like 2 main, 1 board for the matchups. Because you have Xenagos the Reveler. But then Xenagos the Reveler actually good against Junk. Like, you're making a bunch of 2/2s against Fleece Main, Courser, and Brimaz. Maybe it was incorrect to half Xenagos. Even if it was okay there. Anyways, we're 2-0 in the daily and 2-0 in the 8-man. So looking strong. So at least we have a draft set if everything else fails. Hopefully we get more, but we'll see. Yeah, this Naya deck's been pretty top notch. I am enjoying it. I don't know what else could happen. Like, I'm just gonna look at the Japanese Naya list again for inspiration. By the way, for those who are watching, I appreciate you guys watching this over Grand Prix Atlanta. I mean, I like watching Limited, and I'll probably be watching the Grand Prix now if it wasn't for the streaming. But ultimately, you guys probably want to see some blocking constructed. I'm checking the deck lists that for from the Pro Tour to see what changes could be made. I'm literally gonna go through the deck list for like all the technology because there were a number of green white decks. So give me some time to like process through all the technology that I could have. If I were to make some changes, I mean, the extract dictate is probably high on the list. Just because it's such a trump. It's like the super trump, which is a terrible joke. Polis Crusher was an idea over Polukranos. I think you want Pelucranos, just because it's a more solid creature overall. And it dies to the same stuff, and you don't really want to have to monster something against, what's it called? Um, Reaper of the Wilds, and at least Pelucranos goes through like Sphinx, so they can't like just play Sphinx and like expect to like block your guy at least. Um, you could add a Voyaging Satyr. I don't like it, but you could. Um, I'd rather add Destructive Revelry. You could have a Fork Xenagos on the board. I think three's the right number. You could add a third Perforos in the board if the metagame was very orientated towards control. I wouldn't play more than one Revel of the Fallen God. I think there are better sideboard cards. Yeah. Oh, sweet. I think this is our 8-man. Yes. So, well, we're going to try Johnny. We got Planeswalkers aboard. All aboard the Planeswalker train here. Fleecemane seems quite good. Gives me a plan. Let's see what he takes. If he takes Fleecemane, then that's perfect for me. If he does it, I don't care. I don't actually mind Brain Maggot. Like, I will get the card back, and the 1/1 is so relevant against me. Yeah, he takes the Fleecemane, like, for curve reasons. I don't think he's going to be very happy with this. He could have gone Thoughtseize as well, to be fair, so. And now I can start looking for lands. Courser's awkward. I'm really surprised he took the Fleecemane if he had Courser Crewfix. That's surprising to me. I could go for Banishing Light here, but I would rather play Xenagos on time. And I don't have much removal, so yeah. I'd rather play Xenagos on time. The second Xenagos is interesting. I'm gonna ship it, but I'm not convinced that's correct. If he kills it, I've shipped it, but I'm not, because we're against junk, but I'm not sure I was right. He plays Swamp. That's... Ooh. Okay, he's playing the Constellation deck. He's going for Eidolon here. That's not good. Eidolon is really not good here. Carroted. I still go for Xenagos here. And hopefully I'm able to go for Elspeth next turn. I mean, my opponent is... Oh, he's got a Johnny as well. This is going to be awkward. He has a Johnny, he has Phyrexia. He keeps drawing lands, of course. It's a lot of card advantage from my opponent. A little too much. At least he doesn't have white for Johnny. That's like the silver lining. But Phyrexia is active. Okay, he's going to silence that Believer. Which means he can kill Xenagos if he wants to. Okay, with Xenagos going to 1. Xenagos going to 1 is not the end of the world. Because I can go... Hopefully I draw an untapped land, but we'll see. Banishing Light. I have a few options here. If I make a guy and go Banishing Light the Courser, like he can trade, but... I could also go Carroted plus Banishing Light. Actually, Carroted plus Banishing Light seems like the better play. Since he can't kill Xenagos. And as a result, he also is in a position where I probably take the Eidolon Blossoms just because the Courser gets stopped by Sylvan Carotid. It looks good for year for me. I don't want him drawing cards, I'll be honest. That's my main motivation, not to have him draw cards. Hero's Downfall is awkward since it makes Elspeth much worse and a Johnny much worse. He hasn't silenced the Believers, so he could technically silence the Satyr, but that seems poor. Yeah. Playing a Johnny and plus wanting to draw cards might be right. He's got Phyrexia. So in Carotid, okay. That thing is potentially bad for me. Bad news for me. Ooh, Destructive Revelry is good. How much mana do I have? I can make like 8 mana. 8 mana allows me to go Elspeth, Destructive Revelry. Destroying probably the Courser, but then he makes Death Touch guys, which I don't care about. Then he goes Hero's Downfall, the Elspeth, which is awkward. But then I have a Johnny, which is going to +1 and get me another one. And I have tons of mana. That seems like a plan. So we're going to play Elspeth and play Destructive Revelry on his draw step. He does have a Silence of Believers, but I'm okay with that. Okay, so on his draw step, it's going to stop. So I'm okay with losing Elspeth here, very strangely. Oh wait, I need to go plus on this, right? Yes, plus. So I go from 6 to 8. Yeah. Red and green. Did I miscount? I miscounted. I miscounted because I only have 5 mana. I counted the Satyr as a mana, which is wrong. I still play Elspeth anyways. I could play a Johnny here and Destructive Revelry. That doesn't seem too bad, actually. I could do a number of things here. I can pump my guys, but I think looking at the top 4 is probably what I want to do. I'll put the dragon in my hand. That seems pretty good. The card advantage from a Johnny's good here. We'll see what his drop step yields. Okay, I'm fine with that. Since he has no lands on top. I don't care about him gaining 1 life. He has a Johnny, which he's going to cast. Okay, Hero's Downfall Maya Johnny. Yep, can't do anything about that. Right. I could keep Destructive Revelry for a Johnny, but yeah. So he has a Johnny, and something else, yeah. He has Silence the Believers mana, which is why I don't want to cast Dragon. So I can go 1, 2. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, I can just cast Dragon if he, like, silences in response, so it's not too bad. Yeah, I play this, and I have free mana plus free. If he silences Believers the Fleece Mane, I don't really care, fundamentally. Although he's gonna start being able to make some Death Touch spiders or whatever they are, snakes. Yes, the god of snakes, goddess of snakes. Sorry, maybe god. Yeah, yeah, god technically. That looks like a hero's downfall, which is awkward because I kind of hoped he had none left. But okay, two heroes downfall's gone. He has a Johnny silence. He's gonna go for a mega silence, I think. He's got two Johnnies and a silence. But if he goes a Johnny probably dies here, so... Would I like to mulligan? I'm pretty sure I don't want to mulligan that. That seems pretty perfect. Yeah, he goes for a Johnny, so he's going to make a snake. But thankfully I've got this dragon. And a banishing light as well. How much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, okay, he makes the snake now. Oh, he wants to make like a super snake? Goes basic forest. That's an interesting start. Okay, so he's making his guys not terrible. So he's got a 2/2 and a 3/3. Phyrex is looking pretty useless, so I don't really care about it. Ooh, dictate again. The dictate. Ugh, what the hell? Oh, some spam. Let's ban you. I gotta time out the user. Yeah, Temple of Triumph. Bottom, land, pass. And here, what do I have? I have Dictate of Helios. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. So I can play Dragon and Monstrous it in the same turn without playing Dictate here. So I can go like Dragon, Monstrous Dragon, kill a Johnny. It seems actually quite good. And then I have Dictate of Heliod for a future turn. He could potentially have Silence the Believers though, but I get to kill a Johnny and he has to keep up Silence the Believers mana. But he can go Silence the Believers, getting rid of Fleecemane as well, which is bad. On the other hand, he has a 3/3 and a 2/2. So if I go Dictate of Heliod, that's probably just the best thing I could do. If I just go +2 and attack a Johnny with a number of creatures, I should be fine. I could also Monstrous this and play Dictate, and he knows about it, but I don't want him to know about Dictate. I think the surprise value is too high, so I can make the dragon, and if I make the dragon, I attack a Johnny. Oh, if I make the dragon and Dictate, then I can attack a Johnny, and put a Johnny down to 0 because it's a 6-power creature. Then I just attack him with a rest, and he tries to block. Okay, that works. So I gotta go add mana. The surprise value is worth the tapping out here. I could also like ultimate the Fleecemane Lion. Yeah, actually ultimating the Fleecemane might be better. Because then he doesn't know about Dictate. Yeah, this is probably the best. Monstrous the Fleecemane and attack a Johnny with both. So he has to block one of them, which is not a profitable endeavor. Yeah, that seems fine. Sorry, that line of play took me a while to figure out. It wasn't obvious for me. At the end, I just went with a line of play. I'm not sure it's the right one. I just went, you know what? Like, the match has to progress. I can't, like, lose on time. So he's going to keep the Ajani in play. And have Silence the Believers for next turn. Oh, wow. Forest, Swamp, Plains. Okay, so he reveals the top 4. He reveals an Eidolon of Blossoms. That's not good. That's starting his engine again. Mana Confluence. Pass the turn. Okay, so now he has a 2/2 Brain Maggot. What is he at? 21? Oh, what is he going to do now? Silence the Believers right away? Or Eidolon? Or 6? Wow. Is it for 6? Oh, Silence, removing... Okay. Okay. Removes the Dragon and the Satyr. Let's see what I would do here. Oh, there's Elspeth again. I have 5 mana. I have 10 mana, so I'm 1 short of going to Elspeth and Dictate. Is that correct? 5 mana. Yeah, so I can go Elspeth probably here. Elspeth. I want to +1 the Xenagos because obviously that gives you... I can go Elspeth and Banishing Light, which isn't too bad. I'm going to go and kill the Ajani here. Oh, I should have made a Satyr. I'll make a Satyr later, so... If I attack him, Ajani, with those... I don't know Blossoms. Okay, my opponent's on Junk Constellation in this match. Oh, excellent. Excellent. The excellence of this moment cannot be understated. Like going Dragon, Elspeth. Declare blockers. He blocks that. I am actually going to make a Dictate here, I think, just to kill the Brain Maggot. Do I want to do that? Nah, I probably want to make the else. Oh, this is tough. Sorry. I definitely want to get rid of the Phyrexia. Or do I... I'll make Elspeth. Elspeth is just the best play. Without the Banishing Light. Keep the Banishing Light for later. I need to speed up this game, so... Plays Corsair Crufix. Draws a card. Oh, it has Banishing Light. Okay. Plays a land. Attacks for 2. Does have Banishing Light, but hopefully the tokens make it a little more awkward for him. I had a lot of Blossoms. Draw a card. And now he has like the Phyrexia Eidolon combo, but that combo is not going to go very far, I think, because he has no creatures. Green, green. Banishing Light. What is he getting rid of? Xenagos probably here. Elspeth. Okay, so Xenagos is going to get to Ultimate, ladies and gentlemen. I can also like Banishing Light, the Banishing Light itself. But yeah, Xenagos is going to get to Ultimate, which is awesome. So let's Ultimate Xenagos. Hopefully get at least one Hasty Dragon, but we'll see. Oh. He goes for Banishing Light in this matchup. Gets rid of Elspeth. Oh, I should really be F6ing that turn. Oh, he has a Doomwake Giant as well? Okay, so my tokens aren't long for this world. He's drawing a lot of cards, so I have to like kill him quickly. Oh, it's worth noting Dragon is ultimating next turn. Yeah, Dragon ultimates this turn and beats him down. Because he has 7 cards in hand, because Eidolon is not a May. Which is fantastic news for me. Yep, I won that game. Let's see. Click OK to continue. Yes, I would like to press OK. Temple, Courser, Brimaz, Forest, Mountain, Storm Breath, Sylvan Carotid. Literal draw 7. Just gain the life, yeah. And I haven't played a land this turn, so it just stays on top. Yeah, Dictate of Heliod is definitely the right card here. I don't really need this. Banishing Light is good here. So I'm going to go attack with Team. Oh, wait. I don't want to play Dictate here. Probably, yeah, I don't want to play Dictate here. The reason for that is that I want to play Dictate as a surprise in mid-combat, so we're going to play Banishing Light and Brimaz. Get rid of the Eidolon Blossoms. He has a Banishing Light himself, but I don't want him to draw too many cards off that. Wait. I'm going to have to go to sideboard soon, because otherwise I'm going to lose my opportunity to sideboard in that match. So, F6. So he's playing Junk Constellation. So we're going for Destructive Revelries. We're going for Lightning Strikes. We're going for Glares. We're probably not going for Dictate since they're not as important. You want to dismantle his combo. We're losing the mid-range stuff like Johnny, Xenagos. Obviously, Destructive Revelry is awesome. I need to kick out 2 more cards. What else? What else? 1 Brimaz can go. And 1 Carotid. There you go. Submit. I might have, yeah. Oh, wow, I mistaked and play a Brimaz by accident. That was silly of me. I didn't even notice. I was like, I didn't even notice because of the +7 from Xenos. I'd like to F6 this turn, if possible. Also, it's my library that has a Banishing Light, not my opponent's. Yeah. Does he remove with the Banishing Light? Oh, yeah, the Eidolon of Blossoms comes back. He draws a card. But he's dying next turn, so it's not too much of a problem. Would I like to mulligan? Ooh. I could keep this. This is an interesting hand. No green though, so maybe this might be the most ambitious hand I've kept. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. So I can go Banishing Light. He has one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine devotion to green. So, oh damn it! Why did I play that? Oh, I only have one Courser. Cool. For whatever reason. Come on, play that fast, cause. Wow, you mulligan to four. So I probably should focus on this game if I can. I'm pretty sure this is game one. Uh, let's not speculate too much. I really shouldn't have played that land. Top. So I'm gonna go Banishing Light the Phyrexia. And then bash in with everything. Yeah, this is game one. Thank goodness there's not a Planeswalker on my opponent's side of the board, because that would have been awkward. I'm actually just going to play Dictate right away, I suspect. Let me just play Dictate now. It's just quicker. Like, he can't do anything that I can see that doesn't just kill him. And if he survives, he's dead next turn, so... Like, he's taking at least a ton from the dragon. I'm going to have to keep Dictate Postport just to kind of be aggressive. Okay, yeah, I won that game. Cool. I've got time from the sideboarding. I really don't want to lose this match. Keep the Brimaz on top. It's got to be pain for my opponent mulliganing to 5. So we want some Destructive Revelries. Actually, Pelucranos is probably good against Eidolon. Along with Lightning Strikes, Glare. And I'm boarding out a lot of the mid-range stuff. So a Johnny... Dictate goes out. Probably a Brimaz goes out. What else went out in this? Carotid stayed in. So what the heck went out? Oh, Xenagostes went out. I'll probably take out the Carotids, actually. I don't need them. I have tons of removal. Yeah, that's 60 cards I'm happy with. So he goes Carotid, which doesn't get hit by Banishing Light, but I don't really care. Yep. Now I'm looking for land, so that's fine. Do I like to mulligan? Oh, this is awkward. If this wasn't a Plains, I'd keep. Actually, I could keep, because I have Brimaz. Like, any land is good here, almost. Yeah, he goes Eidolon of Blossoms, so I have to... Here, like, even if he did mulligan, I'm going for Banishing Light, just because I don't want him to draw cards. He might have a Banishing Light and that draws him cards, but it's the same difference, really. Thought seizes me, sees a bunch of stuff. Yep. Hopefully get a Temple. That's awkward. I need to start with Mana Confluence. Like, any Temple here is good. That's why I kept... Even a Temple now would be fantastic. Or a non-Plains land. Plains, like, I would do with a land there. Oh, he went for Banishing Light? Thoughtseize, wow, okay. So I could remove the Brain Maggot with Banishing Light. Glare of Heresy. Probably on the bottom. Right now I just care about lands, so... Let's Banishing Light the Maggot, even if it's not ideal. Gets me back my Banishing Light. Okay. Yep. So he's gonna go do Whip of Erebos. Okay, that doesn't do anything. So I could still Banishing Light it, but it just does nothing. On bottom, I want some lands. Yeah, the whip doesn't do anything, so let's leave it there for now. He goes Carroted in that match, which is awkward because it's like one of the few threats I can't Lightning Strike. Kept a sketchy hand, but it was good because I had so much early removal plus a lot of draws. And unfortunately for me, I got one of the few situations where it wasn't as good as I hoped. Oh wow, another Eidolon. I put him all again to 4, but he's not doing too badly here. I'm just gonna play Banishing Light. Just make sure that he doesn't draw a single card all match. It's pretty important. Like a single card more, rather. I must discard. This is embarrassing. Guess Pelucranos or Elspeth would have been the candidates there. Yep, it's Carroted. I guess I can finally play my dragon here. Like in this game, I was taking no risks. Like, just didn't want him to draw into like a runner of enchantments. He may have Hero's Downfall here, but wow, okay. He did draw pretty perfect, but he did mulligan to 4, so he's still pretty bad here. I'm gonna go for Elspeth next turn. Eidolon Blossoms, which I'm going to Lightning Strike now. Well, I'm actually gonna wait until he plays a Scryland, technically. Okay, no Scryland, so I'm gonna just Lightning Strike that thing now. There we go. Land would be nice. Ugh. I did keep because it was likely that I was drawing well, so that's why I kept at 7, was because I had so much against his deck. I think the keep was still fine. So go for Elspeth. I don't need to do anything else. Come on, tap for mana. Pass the turn. Brain Magnet, huh? Well, he's gonna see something he's probably gonna like what he sees. 7 spells to choose from. He might have Doomwake Giant, but if he has Doomwake Giant, he has Doomwake Giant, you know? Just attack for the Carroted here. Up, up, up. Yep. +1 Elspeth. Play Sylvan Carroted, just in case. And then pass the turn. And for me, he goes... Yeah, I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to focus on that 7-minute match, I think. Because like this 11, the one where my opponent against a 4 and is facing an Elspeth is probably in the bag. So attack with everything. Got this Fleece main. I can ultimate as well, which is pretty sweet. Yep. Okay, +1 Elspeth. Fleece main goes up. I'm gonna ultimate him on upkeep. Unfortunately, the stop didn't go there. So I drew a Fleece main line, which still isn't the thing I'm looking for, which is land. But it's still a start. 6. I don't want to Blossoms. Wow, so he did draw. He drew pretty okay, I'm not gonna lie. Like if that wasn't a mulligan to 4, he would have had 3 Eidolons of Blossoms. Although I would have played a much more aggressive line. I was playing a like no lose line here. Yeah, Eidolon is not going to stop Elspeth. But maybe the card that he draws off it does. I won the match and wow, he goes. Okay, he's just whatever. I don't care. Okay, So that was the daily. So I'm 3-0 in the daily, which is great. And in the 8 man, I am 1 up, but I don't have much time. So with that Elspeth and being mana screwed, I might concede to save some time. Yeah, I'm gonna just concede. Like save time for game 3. I'm unlikely to win this game. In that situation, so it makes sense. I think it's still correct to board out the caryatids, like if you board in more removal, because yeah, you gain more time automatically. Um, Dictate is fine, I guess, to remove. Destructive Revelry, Fleeceblade, Courser, Pelucranos, Storm Rep. Just put in like lots of aggression. I like it. I think it was fun to keep that hand on the draw. This is awkward because this I'm not actually. It's not so much the mana as the lack of threats, and because the problem is you're taking damage and not threatening your opponent. That's not a good combination. So I'd like to mulligan, and oh my goodness, I'm going to 5 cards. I still maintain that the first hand had to be mulliganed. Still maintain that. I can't mulligan this, unfortunately. It's all cheap cards, and um, I can't like go. What's my a 4 that's better is rare. Like this is easy. A land top. Uh, yeah, that's bottom. Huh? Oh wow. My opponent literally went good game disconnect. I'm pretty sure this isn't a win. This does not count like a win. Because I'm only getting to 5. There's no assurance of land, so I'm unlikely to win. If he kills the fleece main, I'm like dead. So this was probably a loss. But I'll take the free packs if they're coming. Maybe he's trolling me. Yeah. Oh, by the way, the guy that called me like troll earlier, like I didn't bother to tell him it was that Q. It's not worth going in a conversation like that. And um, truth of the matter is, like I'm just, like when you mulligan to 4, it's really frustrating because you're like I can't do anything. So I understand. I'm not, I understand he's pissed off. I'm not gonna like start nailing the coffin and saying, "Oh, you're unlucky" or double queuing or some other crap like that. I think my opponent literally had to go in the 8 man, which is quite fortunate. Um, yeah, because he went good game. That's the difference. He didn't just disconnect. He like went good game. So I'm gonna leave the deck list up for a bit. I'm just gonna come back in a sec. Okay, back. So yeah, so for those just tuning in, I've been playing the Naya deck, to good effect. It's worth noting in the 8th man I probably would have lost because I'm mulligan to 5. I don't know if there's a land on top. And I don't think a Fleece main line is going to get the job done. But, yeah, I didn't regret my mulligan at the start, which was like 2 planes, 2 mana confluence, destructive rivalry, and 2 banishing lights because it just had no threats. Um, Even if it had time, like the problem was it was like if it was like 2 temples, I would have kept, because then you can kind of sculpt your hand. But with 2 mana confluences, it felt quite weak. Um, yeah, so I've been. Oh, sorry, I clicked on store by accident. It's gonna lag a little bit for now. Anyways, I've been playing the Naya deck, and I gotta be honest, this deck's kicking ass. It's been really good so far. It seems to like really crush the mid range decks as much as I can tell. And the control decks. I just need to think what a proper plan of action is with this deck. Like I know where Chapin's deck stands, right? Like, I already think I have a relatively okay version of Chapin's deck. Um, and the deck's good, right? Like I know the deck's good. I know Junk is good, so I am actually wondering. I don't think anyone at the Pro Tour took to this approach. I'm just gonna check. The easiest way is I'm gonna go for like all the decks with Brimaz. But I'm pretty sure no one took the approach I did. I'm taking here of playing Naya with Brimaz. Actually, Brimaz was very little played at the Pro Tour. So little, very very little play. What? The Junk Constellation deck, I guess. Let's check. Um, Remember that the Naya decks that he beat. Actually, remember that the Naya decks in the top 8 were mostly like red green Elspeth splashing for like they're red green splashing Elspeth. They're not really Naya decks. Um, like the true Naya decks were playing like a bunch of mid range threats and were much more controlling. While I'm taking a really really aggressive approach with my deck. Like the Japanese, for example, they were playing Voyaging Satyrs and not Fleece mains. Like they were trying to accelerate into walkers. That was their whole plan. Oh, by the way, a friend is asking me if I made double Brimaz. Yeah, I did. So I made double Brimaz because I went Xenagos Ultimate and went, oh, I'll just play this Brimaz and whatever. Because I forgot that Brimaz Ultimate put like a Brimaz in play. Like I went like Xenagos Ultimate and like literally went 7 permanents. And then I won the game shortly after. Yep. My opponent is going to lose. I'm just checking just in case, but. When you mean burn, you mean mono red aggro, right? Uh, I don't know. That's why I have 4 lightning strikes. Is kind of this. I think this is well metagame versus the non aggro decks. I'm not actually convinced it's good against aggro. It's okay, but obviously you have less removal than Chapin's deck. But having access to 4 lightning strikes is pretty good. Post board. Like I don't like lightning strike main deck, but post board is okay. But yeah, like this deck is taking a completely different approach to anything else out there. This is the only Naya deck with Fleece main line and Brimaz that I can tell. Maybe I'm wrong. Apparently, Brad Nelson or FF Freak did go 4-0 in block with a Naya deck, so I'm gonna just check it if I can find it. Here's Naya mid range. FF Freak. Yeah, so the deck that Brad Nelson played was the four Voyaging Satyr deck. So it's basically a mix of the Japanese deck and Andrea Mengucci's deck. It's nothing too special. It's fine. He obviously plays well and the deck worked. So oh yeah. By the way, I make mistakes on stream a lot. The reason for that is that it's really hard to play two events at once. Have to think really fast, make the plays on Magic Online based on time, because of all the clicks, and go and also commentate at the same time. So, I hope it's at least entertaining for you guys. I'll admit I make mistakes. Like in real life, I do play fast, but I try to at least take my time and think few things a little more than this. Can I post a link to Mengucci's deck? Yes, I can. However, he is in the top 8 deck list, so he shouldn't be too hard to find. Um, what I'll do, actually, I'll do one better. I'll give you the list to the top 8 decks. Uh, okay, so I won my 8-man because my opponent disconnected. I probably wouldn't have won that match. I'll put it as a victory here, but it was not a victory. Like, it was very, very unlikely I was winning that match. Like, if it was normal. But yeah. Let's see if I can complete the 7-0. That'd be nice. Oh, that's brilliant. Getting your Phoenix. I don't agree that Phoenix. I don't agree that Psychic Intrusion should be played against the blue black inspired deck. So I agree with Aussies. I don't agree with the Intrusion. I think it's too slow. That deck like curves out at 5. Um. Sorry about that. I'm gonna have to take. I'm gonna have to take a minute off air just to breathe. Whoa. Sorry, guys. I'll be back in about 1 or 2 minutes when I get better. Really sorry there. Yeah. I think my hay fever started to kick in there, and yeah. Guess it takes its toll on me. I'll be fine for for the next hour. I'm looking forward to a good night's sleep. To be fair, I've had quite a busy weekend with Manchester looming. It's gonna end the streams. It's gonna be interesting to see how it goes. Anyways, you may be wondering, by the way, what the headphones are for. So I'm listening to music during the stream just because it helps me kind of focus slash concentrate. Um, the reason I'm not putting music on these streams is because they are focused on Block Constructed, and I'm uploading the videos to YouTube. So aside from the fact that uploading obviously a video to YouTube with music is always a little awkward. Um, you have it's more like you can check out like the videos of all of my testing on YouTube, and just see how it's been the previous evenings and just see how the games played out, etc. I don't agree. I don't think I played the best on those videos, but at least it gives you an idea of the deck builds, the angles you can take the decks in, how they kind of performed. I'd say one or two of the videos are kind of obnoxious because I lose the time due to anti-geo triggers, bugs, a combination of things. But like looking at it is probably going to be a good idea for you guys. Um, yeah. Yeah. If you're like, I'm really liking this Naya deck, guys. Like, it's been it's been pretty good. I haven't had a chance to play against aggro. I mean, I played against red green aggro, but I think against aggro, this deck's gonna have more trouble. I mean, the 4 lightning strike definitely helps, along with 4 banishing light. So at least like you can strike early and like banishing light later. You definitely have less cards against aggro than like say the black version of this deck. Thankfully, yeah, Fleece main line and Brim as it do help a bit. So, by the way, Phoenix is actually, I think, not just good in the blue black inspired deck. I think it's actually quite good in the bug deck for the mirror. Like because there's no way to get rid of it, apart from unravel the ether. Once that thing's in play, like your coursers, your carotids, they start milling for like 3 or 5 per iteration. So like you have like probably a like 5 turn clock, and that like kills with prognostic sphinx. Yeah, you're gonna win. I think if you want to play bug, you want Phoenix God of Deception in your sideboard for the mirror. Like kind of as a super trump. It does like fill the same slot as Psychic Intrusion, so there is that to worry about. But I'll also warn you. I've seen a lot of Buck players start playing Gainsays post board. What else is there? But yeah, if you want a deck for the Grand Prix, the blue black inspired deck's quite sweet. I can't test it online because of like a number of issues with it. Oh, they have silence. When is it ever becoming a creature? Like, like you have to have like triple prognostic sphinx or something. Like you have to go. You have to have like say Ashok and Sphinx and Sphinx. So like or Cura, I guess. I just don't see it. Um, yeah, I'm probably gonna play this base deck. Probably. While I would love to have like Guru Lance in my, like I probably will have different basics, but in the absolute terms, this is likely to be in my main deck at the Grand Prix. I'm really liking this mid-range deck with Brimaz and Dictate. I'm really liking it. I think this is a very good shell. Like, this green-white shell is probably the best thing in the format. With the one Dictator of Heliod for spice. That's probably what you need. You definitely need some spice in there, so... This has been, like, ultra spicy tech. If you want to take anything from this, if you're playing, like, a mid-range deck with white, play Dictator of Heliod. Like, at least one main deck. It's such spice. It's really good with in the Brimaz Elspeth deck, I can tell you that much. It's actually been fantastic for me. Still have to wait a bit for these guys, but almost done. But yeah, Dictator of Heliod has been unreal for me. Johnny was actually okay when I had him, but Johnny and Dictate kind of occupy the same slot, right? Like your extra, like your spice at 5 mana. I am wondering actually if Dictate of Heliod was tested for the Pro Tour. Like, as nobody seems to have played it, and it seems really powerful. I gotta check if any deck list played a Dictate of Heliod at the Pro Tour. Like, even in their sideboards. Okay. There were 2 dictates of anything played at the Pro Tour. One of those decks played 3 dictates of Karametra in a Junk Constellation deck, which is very interesting. Although I don't, that deck was interesting. And there was one Dictate of Erebos in a junk mid-range deck. Not a single deck list at the Pro Tour with 18 points or more played Dictate of Heliod. Not a single one. It is a complete unknown. If I look at Magic Online, like, I don't even know if Dictate of Heliod is played, like, in a deck. Yeah, there are 2 decks online that have played Dictate of Heliod recently aside from mine. Actually, my apologies. One of those was mine. So, one of those decks played Dictate of Heliod. That was my deck, the Bant deck. Bad Min Rage. And then the Mono White deck, there was a Mono White deck that played one Dictate of Heliod. Like, one of the Mono White decks played one Dictate of Heliod. I genuinely think for this Grand Prix that Dictate of Heliod is the secret tech. Genuinely. Well, for this deck, right? But because to be fair, the Pro Tour, everyone had Unraveled Reaver and Destructive Revelry, so Dictate like almost never got there. But very few people played Brimaz, right? And Fleecebane. Only Patrick Chapin really found that. So that shell was, because that shell wasn't tested, Dictate of Heliod never had a home because it never had, things to pump. And now it does. Which is, I think, quite interesting, Also, I guess if you're trying to avoid Elspeth's minus free, Dictate of Heliod is probably not where you want to be, but yeah, this is play it. I honestly might play up to 3. I might play 2. Um, I think I prefer like a Johnny is more solid. Like when you play a Johnny, you know what's going on. Dictate is like the trump, right? Like you're playing a Johnny for value. You're playing a Johnny to go +1. Ideally, draw a card. They kill it with Hero's Downfall. You're up a card. That's what you're playing a Johnny for. You're playing Dictate of Heliod because they have board control, and all of a sudden you just smash it to pieces. Like, as far as I can tell, Dictate of Heliod is better than a Johnny. I don't, unless someone like wants to disprove that. Um, like a Johnny was okay. It's just maybe I don't need it. Maybe like the games where I'm playing it, I might be wrong because I'm playing Dictate of Heliod, but I would have won with my board position anyways. There is that. That is a fair point. But I'm pretty sure there are at least 2 or 3 games I won off just Dictate. Which for like a 1-off or 2-off is pretty important. Because remember, you've got Brimaz, you've got Fleecemane. Like, it allows your courses to fight through as well. It gets there. Well, here's the thing, right? The easy to remove, I don't disagree with you. Aside from, so the easy to remove side is awkward, mostly because not so much enchantment removal because they should be boarding out enchantment removal. Actually, I guess the Chapin decks they should board out enchantment removal, but I guess this deck I guess they have it because of Banishing Light and Courser. Yeah, but for me right now, there are way more Heroes Downfalls being played than Dictates. To be fair, I get the point of like trying to run out the Downfalls, and I'll be honest with you, Johnny is the more solid card. That's quite obvious. But yeah, Johnny's fine. Like you could easily play a Johnny. There's no problem with it. But I'm probably gonna play at least 1, maybe 2. I have to disagree. I'm testing with both. Like um, there's one game where he knew about Dictate, so it was less effective. But if he didn't know about it, it's a different question. Johnny would have been okay in that game because you could pop 3 soldiers, I guess. Yeah, the Pharaoh's block meta is still unstable, but this shell is the best shell in the format in my view. It's really, really hard to beat this shell in the middle, so these 2 like columns, if you're registering something like this, it's gonna be really, really hard to beat that deck. Ba ba bam. Did I face ba ba bam? We're playing around soon, thank goodness. There we go. By the way, Blake and Judge is like another is like testing a Bant deck that's been doing really well. So I would like look at that. My round 2 opponent played what did he play? Good point. I can't remember. I'm not actually sure. Uh, I thought I think he was running Naya, right? Or what? I faced red green aggro. Oh, he was running Chapin's deck. My round two opponent was facing Chapin's deck, and let me guess why you asked me that question. Yep. Yeah. So he's running Chapin's deck. Not that that's gonna help you much. Because he's running Chapin's deck, it's not gonna help you much. That deck's hard to metagame against. Come on, let's start the match. I'm ready to go. Yeah, like here's the thing. I agree with you that Johnny is the more solid card. As in, it is the card that there's no risk. You're running a Johnny, it's fine. Like it's always gonna at least go +1 draw you cards. So I agree with that. I agree 100%. A Johnny definitely very solid. There's no downsides running a Johnny. Dictate is a lot more experimental. Um, it could be like a Johnny's enough. Dictate might be too much. Like you don't need it. I've liked it so far, mostly because of Brimaz. But again, you're right. Maybe a Johnny is better. I just feel like planeswalkers are have like heroes. You have heroes downfall and banish like heroes downfall in the format, and yeah, you still get +1 card, but yeah. I've been liking this Naya deck. But yeah, I'm still gonna reiterate this over and over again. Just like this is the best shell in the format. These two columns are the best shell in the format. Not close. Yeah, I agree. Like dictate, I feel like a Johnny, like say out of 10, right? A Johnny's gonna be like a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10. Like solid role player, always good. Dictate is either gonna be like a 1 or a 10, so maybe yeah. Oh, ew, this is awkward. No tempo to smooth my draws and free mana confluence. I really would wish one of these is a temple. I'll keep, but I'm not convinced. I'm keeping more for the testing side of things here. Like, this hand is weak to Fotsy. Like, my concern was, like, what am I trying to volley into? Is this better than the average 6? And I was erring towards yes, but just by very little. Like, an average 6 is probably a little better than this. If he plays Temple of Abandon, then his hand goes up in my evaluation. I don't have the Great Revel. Well, that's gonna lead to some very painful moments. He's playing red-green aggro and he's at Frio, so that's good. This is gonna lead to some painful moments with Courser and Brimaz. I think I'll go Brimaz and then Courser. He might have Lightning Strike here. If I go Caryatid here, I don't think I want to go Caryatid, but oh, that is a lot of pain. Like I go down to 13, and then he potentially plays Polish Crusher. I don't like this. I think Caryatid might be the superior choice here. So I could go Storm Breath next turn. Or like go Ultimate Fleece Mane. Yeah, that seems like a better option. I'm going to attack with Fleece Mane here. He definitely doesn't have Lightning Strike because he would have played that. Yeah, that Eidolon of the Great Reveal has been really good when I tested Red Green Aggro as well. Magma Jet. Wow. That is interesting. That Magma Jet on me is very interesting. Like, wow, he took 2 for that? And, wow, he really needed the Scry. He must, like, desperately need lands because he has a bunch of 4-drops, so... let's see what he does, but... I'm definitely playing Dragon here. Just because the haste is so important here. I could, like, not attack with Fleece Mane. That's an option. But I think attacking with it is correct. Maybe not. I'm okay with just Dragon. He would have Lightning Strike that attack, probably. Yeah, Scry for value there is pretty bad. Okay, so he was just land screwed. Red Green Aggro. The fatties, the Lightning Strikes. And Dictate's not good in this matchup. I usually side out of Brimaz, but we'll see. A Johnny. What else goes out? I can't remember. I think one Elspeth goes out because it's very good, but it's a bit late in the day. Revelry comes out. Oh, Xeliagos is to come out, right. So Elspeth probably... I can have a Brimaz or an Elspeth. I think Elspeth is much more nail in the coffin than Brimaz. And I have more lightning strikes, so yeah. Brimaz does trade with Police Crusher, so that's not too bad. I think you're right to like cut an Elspeth. Like, probably should have cut an Elspeth there. I think I cut a Brimaz in the end, didn't I? Yeah. Yeah, but what the Brimaz does, for example, is he can like block, say, Fire Drinker sit here. He goes pump pump. Then he takes like 5 in total, and he still have the Soldier behind. Well, I'm keeping this hand, even if it's a bit slow. This hand could do with an untapped land. I am wondering. I'll probably play Temple of Plenty, yeah. But yeah, playing third is not good. Ooh, Forest. Okay, I'm playing second now. So if you don't get the reference, playing third is if all your lands come into play tap, you're basically playing third because of how slow your draw is. I could go for Fleece Mane here, but because he has this up, he either has Lightning Strike or Destructive Revelry or both. So I'm just going to play Temple of Triumph and keep the Polukranos on top. So that way I can go Fleece Mane. I probably go Fleece Mane here rather than Courser. I think it's correct. Yeah. Temple of Plenty can go on the bottom. I've got plenty of them. Sorry, that's terrible. Okay, he's going to go for Polis Crusher. That makes sense to me. I'm going to go for Polukranos here. Let's go for Fat. If he goes Dragon here, that's awkward because Banishing Light does nothing against Dragon. Like, I'm really weak to Dragon, actually. Which is one of the main problems of this deck list. Like, I have 2 Banishing Lights and they do nothing. I have to, like, dig through lands. That's the pretty perfect land, I gotta be honest. Because now I can attack with Pelucranos. And play Fleece Mane. He could Monstrous his Polish Crusher. So what I need to do is just play enough pressure that if he does that, he dies. So I've got 3, 8, 11. 11. Oh, he goes Destructive Revelry. So I was right about the Destructive Revelry. Attacks with Dragon. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Attacks with Polish Crusher after going Destructive Revelry. That's weird. I am wondering here. Because, like, do I just double block here? Like, knowing that he has probably a Lightning Strike? Because if he has a Lightning Strike, I go 5, 8, 11, and put him down to 4. Which is not where I want him to be. But if I take the damage, I go to 6. And I die, so I'll probably double block, because I lose to a Lightning Strike anyways. Like, if he has one. The alternative is I don't block and I hope to top deck a dragon if he has nothing, but I don't see him having nothing here. Okay, so the block was correct. This is going to deal a ton of damage, potentially, though. So, attack for 8. Wait, I can Monstrous 1 and kill it with Lightning Strike. That's definitely the plan. That is 100% the plan. Monstrous 1, Lightning Strike. He's past priority, so I'm okay with going Monstrous 1 now. Even if there is a risk, it's X equals 1. The extra damage is going to be valuable, so Lightning Strike the Dragon. Because now Pelucranos is a 6/6, so that's why it's valuable. Okay, that was good. That was one of the rare moments where I think I played actually good. Because I go like, I lose the Lightning Strike after double block. Yeah, okay. That's good, that's good. Oh. Oh, I would have lost to that anyways. There's nothing I can do. Oh. Ooh, wow. Kind of a frustrating way to lose, but it's what it is. That's why I attacked, yeah. I had to do what I had to do. Awkward. I am wondering about Banishing Light, actually. It might not be as good as I hope, so maybe I cut a Banishing Light and keep a Brim as in. Yeah, that seems okay. Does he go like, yeah, that's... Double Fleece Mane, Courser, and Elspeth. That's pretty good. I felt like I played that game well as well. That game I felt like I played well. That can go on the bottom because I've got, yeah. I've got enough mana already. Well, yeah. Going Fleece Mane attack is pretty sweet here. Hopefully I draw a Temple. Golden Hind. I am very interested in Lightning Striking that Hind, but I think attacking for free is better. Oh, playing the Temple means I can't play Courser with value. That might have been that was a mistake actually. That was a big mistake. Pay the tribute and put a counter. No. That can be a 4/4 with haste if you like, as far as I'm concerned. Thankfully it won't matter since yeah, it won't matter since I wouldn't play Courser in this situation. Well, actually, I say that. Courser is actually pretty good here. I did like do something stupid there with the mana. That was bad. I should have just played the mana confluence and just sucked it up. What do I do here? I have a few options. I think playing the Courser is correct because it gives me more chances for land drops in the future. That I am a klutz though on that one. Oh, it's a lightning strike, so okay. So next turn I can go double lightning strike, which is okay. He has destructive revelry. Yeah, I should board out Vanishing Light on that principle. He knows I have lightning strike, so a little surprised by that choice of his. What do I do here? I put him down to 5. Do I want to lightning strike the Golden Hind here? I think he would have played Dragon if he had it. That was a perfect turn to play Dragon. Oh, come on. Um, wait, I win. Sorry, I'm being difficult. Uh, I win in a lot of ways there. Like even if he doesn't attack with Dragon, I win because I can go Banishing Light on that and Lightning Strike him. Okay, so we got the 4-0. That last game was actually quite strange. Yeah, if you guys are saying no in the chat because of the land play, 100%. That was a mistake. I agree. I made a mistake on the mana in that game. 100% made a mistake on the mana in that game. But yeah, even if he summoned Storm Breath and didn't attack, I win because I can go Banishing Light the. I can go end of turn Lightning Strike him, then Banishing Light the Golden Hind, and swing for lethal. So wow, 4-0 and 3-0. Well, okay, so I'll put a little asterisk here since I won on my opponent going good game and disconnecting. So it was more of a 2-0 to be honest, and probably looking at a 2-1. Yeah, this has been good. It's a little bit weak to Storm Breath Dragon, but I don't expect that many Storm Breaths in Manchester. What do I expect in Manchester? In Manchester, I expect a lot of bug control because I think the deck's actually relatively easy to assemble. You need Temples of Malady, and the rest is actually okay to find. So I'm going to see a lot of bug control, I think, in Manchester. I'm going to see some red-green, and I think this deck trumps the other red-green because it has more threats, which is a great place to be. I'll probably see Patrick Chapin's deck, which I think is the best. Did this deck feel like you were asking questions? No, this deck feel like my opponent couldn't answer. Like, was it like, I mean, it wasn't just, like, I literally went, did I lose a game? Oh yeah, I lost the very, very close game where he went harnessed by force. But, yeah, like, I lost one game in that road. It just felt like I was just slamming my opponent turn after turn. Like, just go, like, Fleece Mane, Brimaz, and then, like, pile on the dragon. Just, like, it never stopped. It just felt like more and more pressure. Because the Scrylands allowed me to put on that pressure. Like, just draw Scryland. Just make sure I always get that pressure. So, it was interesting because Fleece Mane, I didn't monsters that often. I think because of Dragon, because in the Chapin deck you have more removal, like at 3 and 4. So you tend to go Fleece Mane, remove, monstrous. In this deck, you tend to go like Fleece Mane, Brimaz, or like Courser, and then like Dragon, rather than go through the effort, or Xenagos, rather than the effort of monstrous in it. I guess you could go Xenagos Monstrous on the same turn if your draw's good enough. But yeah, so I'm kind of the bad deck was actually okay. Like I actually don't know which to play between black, blue, and red. I know Chapin's deck. You know, I don't know how much I want to test Chapin's deck. I know it's good. There's no mystery to it, right? Like it's good. It's got removal. It's got guys. It's not a very complicated deck to understand. Arguably, this deck's not too complicated either. The blue deck was interesting. It took a little bit of a different angle with Prognostic Sphinx and Kiora. But I'd rather be playing a deck like this, which goes like... Yeah, so you have Prognostic Sphinx. So I know that's unkillable, but I generally just don't care. I really don't care about Prognostic Sphinx. I want to put my deck in a position where I don't care. I really like this deck. I'm going to be trying it probably tomorrow if I can. Yeah. So yeah, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. It's fantastic to get a session where I literally went full wins, no losses. So I'm gonna put the video of the whole thing on YouTube, so it'll be uploaded tomorrow morning. If you guys want to go back for my games, this was actually nice because there were no distractions. The games were quite clean, and yeah, like have a look back at the games. I think this deck is very good. If you're going to Manchester, the Grand Prix, this is going to be a solid option. You can literally play these cards. I think the deck is improvable, but if you played this literal 75, I think you'd be in a strong position compared to the field. Because here's the thing: when you go Fleece Mane Brimaz, like Storm Breath, it's so much pressure. The reason Storm Breath was probably not as good at the Pro Tour is because you go like. You might go Storm Breath on turn 4, but you go off an Accelerant, but like there's nothing else. Yeah, Moto being good for once. There was one slow game. You know, like the problem is like those decks like Accelerated and Storm Breath, and then like their opponents go like, well, I've got Hero's Downfall, and I've got Silence of Believers, so I can pick and choose what to do about this. Here it's like Fleece Mane, Brimaz, and then Storm Breath. So like, okay, Fleece Mane Lion, okay. Play a top line, it's okay. Brimaz, okay, that's bad. I've taken free. Look, I'll play Corsair Crewfix, try to gain some life. Or they go like, oh, I need to play Hero's Downfall because like it's starting to be too much. So if they go Corsair Crewfix, they're like, oh, I can block the Brimaz or the token, take 6, it's not great, but I gain a life, so. Then at that point, wherever they have their Hero's Downfall or not, because you go Storm Breath, they go like, oh, I have to kill Storm Breath. But then they get 7, or you go, or if you have a Carotid, they take like 6, but you still have a token. Or they go, yeah. Am I not weak to aggro? Yes. This deck is incredibly weak to aggro, I suspect. It depends on the aggro. I think this deck has a lot of trouble against heroic aggro. Which is why I like 4 Lightning Strike in the board. I could see like having like Magma Spray in the board maybe. Or like, I think I prefer Strike. There was one threat that definitely made Strike better. What was it? Yeah, there was one threat in the format that made Lightning Strike better. You don't usually board in Strike against Fleece Mane Lion decks. What was it? Yeah, but the thing is, what would you cut for the Strike? Like, I think the Destructive Revelry has as much game against the aggro decks because they're still playing like enchantment creatures. I mean, you don't want to cut any of your early drops. You could cut some of your late stuff, but then you lose your advantage against the control decks. I just don't like Strike. I just think. Here's the thing: if you were playing at the Pro Tour, then yes, I'd play Strike because going into the Pro Tour, everyone's playing aggro, and you have to beat aggro to have a deck. Pro Tour's over. Aggro was demolished. Like, across the board, the red-green aggro deck was the only deck with a winning percentage and aggro. That was like actually aggro. Everything else just demolished, negative. Well, the thing is, even if you're an aggro player and you go to the Grand Prix, you could prepare like for the next level. Go like, oh, there's people that are gonna play less against aggro, so my deck becomes better. But you're like, yeah, but at the same time, there's gonna be a bunch of people copying the decks like Bug and like, I can't go through that field. Like they're gonna get crushed along the way. They're gonna meet someone who just copied the deck and they're crushed because the deck was anti-aggro. They're not gonna face enough people like that like have evolved. Um, so I'm not too worried about aggro decks. I don't think I'm gonna face many, and if I face them, I still have game because I have Fleece Mane and Brimaz and. One of the deal one damage to all creatures. Sorry, you mean scoring sense, right? I'm not wrong. Let me look at Theros. I can actually just research damage. That might be easier. So you're talking about scoring sense, I believe. So for those who don't know scoring sands, it deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control, scry 1. I don't. Why am I bringing that in against? Like against aggro, it doesn't kill anything, and I don't want to bore that in again, even against Elspeth decks, because it only like kills the Elspeth tokens. Um, yeah, like that's one matchup. Rather than play something like Specialist, like Scoring Sands, I would rather play Removal like Glare of Heresy. That's good in a number of matchups, and Lightning Strikes, or like if you're really specifically worried about that matchup, you could play Anger of the Gods. I don't like it personally in this deck, but you could. Um, you could also play Magma Spray. I would rather play Magma Spray. Like, I would rather play Magma Spray on Scoring Sense, because at least Magma Spray costs 1 mana, and it can really cut them. Like, you can go, like, Temple, and then they, like, enchant their guy with, like, an Ordeal or something, and you can go, like, oh, Magma Spray. Like, the tokens are annoying, but, like, if you have a Fleece Mane in play, like, or a Brimaz, that's already stopping all their tokens. Like, a Courser or Brimaz, or a Fleece Mane stops all their tokens, like, dead. Like, because they can't attack with them, so they don't get that incremental value. I could see Magma Spray over Lightning Strike. I could, but I think what did I want Lightning Strike against? It was good against Daring Thief. It kills Xenagos, which isn't too relevant. Because there is an argument for having Magma Jet over Strike. Yeah, but the Fleece Mane Lion are not boarding in Lightning Strike against Fleece Mane Lion decks. They're boarding in Strike against non-Fleece Mane Lion. Like, I'm not boarding Strike against this deck or Chapin's deck or the Bant deck with it, right? Actually, maybe the Bant deck because they play Cura. And it's an easy way to kill Cura. That's the only exception. But that's very marginal. Like, I wouldn't play more than 1 or 2. I'm not even sure they go in. Like, that's an argument for main deck. When you're boarding it in, you're boarding it for a matchup. I am wondering that. Because... yeah. Lightning Strike does have the advantage of hitting players, by the way. That is not a completely useless feature. Like, I can see a mix. Lightning Strike was against something. I just can't remember what that is now. Like, it does one more damage against the heroic decks, which sometimes can be quite relevant. Against Mono Black Aggro, I think it's the same difference as well. It kills Herald of Torment. That's the one card. There we go. I knew there was a card. It kills Herald of Torment. Yeah, killing that Planeswalker is pretty important. I mean, it depends if you're it depends how general purpose you want it, right? Like against the red aggro deck, Lightning Strike is better than Magma Spray, because you can kill like Xenagos, and you can hit their face, which is actually relevant. Magma Spray does remove Eidolon of Blossoms clean, which is a big advantage. Like, it doesn't go to the graveyard, it just, like, gets exiled. I'm gonna ponder the question. I'm not sure, actually. I don't think... Lightning's... it's like, do I prefer the Scry? Do I prefer... Like, do I prefer being able to deal with damage to the maximum amount of damage to my opponent and, like, kill Herald Torment? Or do I want just to fit, like, the most efficient possible spell, which is Spray? Because there's a ton of cards at 2 toughness. There's a ton of cards at 4 toughness. There's almost no key card at 3. Fnatic or Xenagos, I wouldn't consider. Like, Lightning Strike is better against the red-green aggro deck. And I think red-green aggro is the best aggro deck. So that does tend me to wanting to play Strike because it's the best card. It's the best aggro deck. It might be weaker against the heroic decks, but yeah. I mean, I'm theory crafting. I don't know if it's the case. But yeah, Strike is only good against the red-green aggro deck. Like, the Herald of Torment junk deck. The junk constellation strike is better because you can like kill his Herald of Torment on its own. But yeah, I was just looking at like all the Pro Tour decks. Like, it's good against the blue-black Inspired deck as well because you can kill Daring Thief and King Makar. And actually, that's the last selling point for me. Yeah, actually, that's the last selling point for me. Red Green Aggro and Blue Black Inspired are both decks that have winning percentages at the Pro Tour. They're more likely for me to show up at the top tables of the Grand Prix. And Magma Spray and Jet don't hit the key cards from those decks. Not all of them. Lightning Strike is better. So I prefer Lightning Strike against those decks. Against the red-green deck, Spray is okay, but like not being able to hit Xenagos and not being able to hit Fnatic Xenagos seems a bit awkward. Plus against red-green you're racing, so yeah, I think Strike's fine. Strike's fine. I think on the basis that the 2 best decks that are not Chapin's deck are weaker to Strike because you have Daring Thief and King Makar and Fnatic Xenagos and Xenagos, you want Lightning Strike. That's the most sensible argument to me. Or for me. Okay. I like the Strike. I like the Strike. Just to be clear, I'm not considering Strike against a deck with Elspeth. Like, I can't see a matchup where you're boarding in Lightning Strike and they're playing Elspeth. The Junk Constellation deck is like the only exception, I think, to that rule. Like, the second place deck in the Pro Tour actually is the only exception. Because you'd board that in because they have... he has Brain Maggot, Eidolon of Blossoms and Herald of Torment. There you'd board it in. That's the one exception. That is the one deck where you'd want Strike, where Elspeth is also played. This deck does have removal problems, so like if your threats are contained and they're ahead on the board, you're probably in trouble. I do like this deck. I really do like this deck, so yeah. And on that note, thanks a lot for watching. I'm gonna go to bed.